Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Raven's Real Talk. If this is your first time here, special welcome for you. And if you don't know what Raven's Real Talk is, it's basically a talk show. I caught myself. I always say TV show. A talk show that I created on my Twitch channel so that I could have a space where I create discussions about things that are important to me that I think need to be spoken about, need more awareness created about. And so far, it's been a really amazing journey. I've had a lot of amazing conversations, discussion, guests, growth, personal growth. And it's so rewarding when people come back to me and say, oh my God, I didn't know X, Y, and Z was a thing. And because of your real talk, I got to learn something new. So this talk show is really important to me, really special to me. And I really appreciate all of you taking the time out of your busy days to come here and be part of it. So thank you. Really appreciate it, especially during the holidays. I know people get extremely busy and it can be quite a struggle to fit in 3 hours. So a huge special thank you to the guests that you are about to meet for taking time out to be here and share their wisdom, their experiences, their opinions with me. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. As you can tell by the title, we are talking about the holiday season. We're going to be talking about gift giving, what we have learned from 2020, goals that we have for 2021. There's just a lot of good stuff that I am excited to dive into. So without further ado, let's get our guests in. So guys, as always, the purpose of these conversations is to create a discussion and create awareness about whatever topic that we're talking about. In this case, it's about, how different people celebrate the holiday season so that we can be more sensitive and more open-minded about the different types of things that happen around the holiday season and the different themes that are around that time as well. And the ultimate goal from these discussions, as always, is to not just share experiences and create awareness, but also to improve ourselves. Y'all know I'm all about self-improvement, baby. Okay, because ain't nobody perfect, and if anybody trying, they tripping. Okay, I know I'm not perfect, but I am trying to get better as a person, and I'm trying to improve myself. I know there's a lot of things I have to work on, and the goals of these talks is to improve all of ourselves through self-reflection, introspection, and observation. So here we go. My first scrumptious guest I met through Twitch Sings. I was so fortunate to meet them. It was random. I feel like the first song that we sang together was Shallow, if I'm not mistaken. And as soon as I heard his voice, I was blown away. Please help me welcome Papa Rex. And if you have not sang with him yet, baby, you need to, because Twitch Sings is ending real soon. Welcome, Papa Rex.
Hey there, happy to be here.
Thank you.
I think the song was probably Gravity.
It was Gravity? You sang Gravity with me?
Probably.
Why do I like remember Shallow. Like you nailed Shallow. Oh my goodness.
I guess a little about myself, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old fella. I'm just about 50 years old. I spent half of my life
I did not know that. Oh my goodness.
and in bar,
Wow.
and in restaurants and clubs in Alabama and in Boston. And I spent the second half of my adult life sort of in the corporate world. Now I'm in IT management.
Ooh.
I had my first kids after the age of 40, so I'm a relatively new father, but a relatively old guy.
Wow. I had no idea.
And I started singing last year. That's how I met all of you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that.
It's been transformative, I think, for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I learned so much about you just in that little introduction. I had no idea. Wow. Rex's volume fixed himself. Okay. Yeah, I did turn him up, so hopefully that fixed it. All right. The next scrumptious guest that I would like to invite. Let me just make sure I have the right person. Hold on. I want to make sure. because the layout is weird. Okay, so the next person, I actually don't know how exactly I met them. I know it was through Twitch things, but I can't remember what song it was. I want to say it was Hemorrhage, but I don't know. I just remember singing with him, and I was like, God damn, this is a very powerful voice. And I was so in awe. I was so in awe of their voice that Hemorrhage kind of became our song. So I don't know if that's our first song, but I'm just gonna say that that's our song, along with Speechless. Please help me welcome Show Sheepy.
Hi.
Hi. Do you remember what song it was?
I don't. Well, actually, I pulled up the first song I sang with you was This Love. But I don't know what the first song you sang with me is, because I downloaded all my duets, but like downloading the other side, I was only able to download like recent ones.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go far back enough. So I'm not sure what first song you sang with me. But yeah, that was the first song with you.
I wonder if it was Hemorrhage. Oh, well, you have a wonderful voice either way.
You too.
Thank you. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Shoshipi. Pronouns they, them if you're spicy, he, him if you're basic. Variety streamer. I stream, I don't know, a lot of Stardew Valley, Risk of Rain, variety of things. I sing. I don't do Twitch sings anymore. But I am singing still. With the DMCA stuff, most of my singing stuff is just being posted on YouTube. I recently did a collaboration with Teeny Giant and Ugg Haley, who they wrote a song, and it was a duet song, and they chose me to be like the sort of like male part for that, and my duet partner was Vanilla, and it's on SoundCloud. It's really good. It was really fun to work on, and we did it all in one day. Like,
oh my god! Do you have the link for that?
In one day. Yeah, I do.
Awesome. If you want to drop it in the chat, that would be awesome,
Sure.
and people can check it out if they're interested.
Yeah, it's legit really good. Like, it's got a good beat, not just because like I'm in it. Like the other song that they did too is also really good, and that's on SoundCloud. But yeah,
shoot.
I don't know.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry. Could you maybe whisper it to Slay if possible?
Oh, sure.
And I just realized the link thing is off because we have random people coming in dropping those trolley links. So I had to turn off the... And we don't know how to permit people because technology is an issue. So I'm sorry. Thank you, Sheepy, for that introduction and for being here. I appreciate it. And last but not least, okay, listen, I still don't know who I need to thank for introducing me, or I found by myself. I don't know, but I don't think so. Actually, I feel like Joey, someone I met on Twitch, like my early days. I'm talking like early 2.5 years ago days. Joey was watching Amy, I think, one day. And then I went to be like, oh, who's Joey watching? Like, they're probably... If Joey's watching this person, it must mean they're a chill person. So let me go check it out. And I still remember the first stream I caught of Amy. She would, like, I still remember the whole setup and everything. And she was playing some, it was like a, not a retro game, but it was like, you could tell it was an older game. And she was talking about her work schedule. Like, I distinctly remember her talking about her work schedule. Please help me welcome Amy, aka Hibiscus Flower. Yay. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
I
being
still can't
here.
remember. Like, I still can't remember. I know Joey was somewhere in the mix of like how we met, or like I ended up in your stream through someone else and Joey was there. I don't know. It was something. I don't know, but I remember being in your stream and we were just chatting about, you know, how we could make the world a better place.
Oh my god, that sounds
And
like my stream.
yeah, definitely.
It's like too deep for no reason. Like I'll be playing Resident Evil and we'll be talking about ending world hunger. Like it makes no sense.
But yeah, so
Oh
that
my
that was
God.
probably about 2 years ago now.
Oh my god.
A long time.
And I still haven't met you in real life.
I know. Hopefully next year I want to do some more traveling when it's safer to do so, because you know the world's not great at the minute.
Fucking COVID. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
exactly.
Shit. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the host, Shippy. Thank you for the host. Oh my god, this track's so good. I can stop. Ah, thank you very much for that host. That is also a non-copyright track, which is awesome. So, Amy, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Amy, or Hibiscus. I'm a variety streamer. I play a lot of Sims, Stardew Valley, anything with a good storyline, and Jackbox games. I play a lot of Jackbox. I have a 6-year-old boy, so it's hard to have like a stream schedule, but it's just one of those things we just wing it and hope for the best.
You were also playing the Miss Unfortunate? Did I make that
Yeah,
up? No, I did not.
yeah, it was Miss Unfortunate.
Okay. What,
Yeah,
did you finish
that was the
it?
recent one. Yeah, I finished it. It was insane.
Like
it was
more
really good.
deaths?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it was really good though. Everyone watching was like, "I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this or not." I was like, "Same."
Because it gets dark, guys. If you don't know, it is okay. So Sheepy knows it's dark stuff, bro. I watched Amy. I was like, oh, so cute. It's cute. And then a dog dies. Like she
Yeah, I felt
squishes it
so
with the.
guilty.
I remember. But it's
was like,
choice
choose to
based.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you try and pick the best option, and it never goes to plan. And then you go, well, I can see the pattern here, so I'm going to pick the one I don't want, and it's still so.
Oh my god. But you know what? It could be maybe like I might be getting too deep, but maybe it's like supposed to be some kind of commentary of how we try to plan so hard, we try to think steps ahead, we try to take the path that's we can see all the consequences and all the negative things that could possibly happen, but we never really know.
Yeah.
And life just happens. It could be a deeper thing, guys. Might be a deeper thing. But once again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited for this conversation. Yes! So let's start off with something super simple, super cash, super cool. How do you guys spend the holidays? So when I say holidays, what I basically mean is, I don't know how it is in the States, but in Canada, we get Christmas off, so the 25th. We get Boxing Day off, which is the 25th, 26th Boxing Day, which is when everyone goes shopping and goes crazy. Then we have New Year's Day off, not New Year's Eve. So that's what I mean by holidays. So, Sheepy, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I stay home. I don't know. It's just another day to me. I'm usually home. Since with my current working situation, I don't have to worry about like having a day off or whatever, because usually I'm a tutor, so the kids are out of school for like 2 weeks during the winter. And so I usually don't tutor during that time. So I, have time off and whatnot. And now my partner's out of work. So we just, hang out.
I'm sorry to hear about your partner. I hope their mental health is okay. I know for a lot of people it has affected their mental health a lot. And like being out of work. So.
Oh, yeah. He's actually flourishing as far as that goes. His job was very...
toxic?
Yeah. His job was not, it was not great. And so when he left, like his mental health like improved tremendously.
Happy for him. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, we got a positive story for someone who lost their job during COVID. I like it. That's awesome. Okay, that's good. So for you, it's any old day. Like you don't really do anything special. You don't cook anything special. You don't go out or like do whatever.
No, I mean a lot of things are like closed and stuff, so like sometimes we order takeout.
But that's pretty. It's
But
pretty much just any
that's
other day
yeah,
off.
it's like another day except with more text messages than usual because like people text you and
Oh, yeah,
be like
that's
happy
true.
whatever, and you're like, oh yeah. And then you just
But that's how
respond.
you know they don't really know you very well,
Right. So it's
right?
like,
What about you, Amy?
Because I work in healthcare, I don't really get much time off. I get Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day off. So,
Oh, so it's the same.
but I only do like 4 hours each evening anyway, so it's not much work.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, like normally we see our families. Normally Christmas Day is spent with my son's dad's family, and then Boxing Day with my family. But with COVID, we've kind of gone into a tier 4 lockdown, which basically means we can't do anything other than go to work
Mm-hmm.
or like education. So we'll probably just sort of stay in, watch movies, have a Christmas dinner if we can get the stuff because we were going to go.
Yes.
So we're trying to get supplies. I've got stuff in, so that's positive. That's one thing we can eat.
If anything, bread and stuffing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure something out. But yeah, we're just gonna chill here, try and still, even though we're kind of feeling a little bit down about everything and missing family, we just want to make it as magical for my son, because to him it's kind of the same. He's excited for Santa and everything, so just gonna sort of focus on that and make him happy.
So usually for Christmas, it's with your previous partner's family, but then
Yeah.
Boxing Days with your family, or
With
or
my
no?
family.
Okay.
Yeah, with my family. So like because my mum and dad live in a different town, so they normally come down, meet up with them, see my grandparents and things like that. And this year it's just everyone's like, we just won't see each other. We
Yeah.
safer not to, which is hard, but it's the best way forward, I suppose.
Yeah. I
Especially
agree.
with me sort of working, my son at school, so we're exposed to a lot of people. We're currently waiting for COVID tests at the minute because it's going around my place quite quickly. It's gone around his school. So before we even see anyone, we're like, let's just
Get tested in
get a
case.
test. Yeah,
In case.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's the scary thing about COVID is that you might not even have symptoms, right? But you might pass it on, not you as in you, but in general, like people. We might pass it on to someone and they might actually get symptoms. So it's hard to track like where they got it from. So that's good that you guys are being safe. How about you, Papa? What do you do?
Well, I mean, I guess we're pretty traditional. I suppose, for us, the holiday season starts with Thanksgiving.
Oh.
That's sort of the
Is
first
that
sort of big
November
family.
11th?
November. Well, is it the last
Or
Thursday
is-
in November? I think.
Oh, okay.
Usually, I'll go over to my twin brother's house. I've got two little girls, and so does he. So they all have fun playing together. And then we just have a giant meal. He's an excellent cook. But then the next day, you start decorating. So usually, well, not the next day, but Thanksgiving weekend, because Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. On Saturday and Sunday, we'll get the tree up and put up all the decorations.
Oh, wow. That's way in advance.
Well, yeah, it helps. We got an artificial tree, so you don't have to worry about like trudging out into the woods, pulling down a tree. Or
Yeah.
you just grabbing it out of the basement, and setting it up.
Do you
Really, I mean,
reuse the same tree every year?
Yeah, I mean, I have this artificial tree. It's very nice, but it's paid for itself in a couple years. And I set that up Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
Really, after that, I think this year I just have Christmas Day off and then New Year's Day.
Okay.
The kids have time off, but it's not very different for them this year. I mean, I suppose you know, how this year is different is kind of a different topic almost, because like I'm not doing hardly any of the, you know, visiting
Right.
family or anything like that.
That
It's
you
all
would
Zoom.
normally do.
Right.
Is there a lot of
I-
visiting that happens normally, or is it just your immediate family, or is it also
Usually,
friends?
yeah. And you know, traditionally in my family, Christmas Eve would be a big get together for like your extended family, and that would be where you would trade presents with aunts and uncles and cousins, things like that. And then you'd go home, and then Christmas morning would just be your nuclear family, and that would be, you know, the kids waking up and opening presents and all that sort of thing. But this year, none of that's
None of
going
that,
on.
yeah.
It's a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, very different this year.
Yeah. You know what I don't understand? Like, that's why I asked about the artificial tree. If someone has an artificial tree, right, and it's beautiful, it's functioning well, all you got to do is probably change, like, the pretty sparkly stuff that you put on it. Why do people keep buying new ones every year? Like, isn't it expensive?
It is. It's very expensive.
I don't understand that. Or maybe I'm just frugal. I don't know, but I never quite understood that. I'm a reuse type of person, guys. I'm a reuse type of person.
Well,
Do
some
people
people
buy
really
new
like that
ones?
tradition
Yes.
of having a new tree, a real tree, the smell of it, and just the sort
Oh, a
of
real
nostalgia,
tree.
I suppose. But you know, all the needles start falling off. They're an enormous fire hazard. So it really makes more sense to get an artificial tree.
Yeah.
And within
Yeah.
3 or 4 years, it pays for itself.
And that kind of feels wrong. Cutting
feel
down
bad.
a perfectly good tree just for your personal pleasure and decoration. Sorry for any like people who have done that, but like I don't think I agree with that very much. But yeah, personally, we don't. So I see. It's we live in a country where a lot of people celebrate Christmas, and when people say holidays, that's usually what they're referring to. So I want to take a moment to say something that I found really interesting that it like dawned on me maybe 7-8 years ago. We always say Merry Christmas without knowing what people actually celebrate during Christmas, or if they celebrate anything, or if they're atheists and don't celebrate anything. So what I started doing is I would just say Happy Holidays, because you do have a day off, which is a holiday. So everybody has days off, and happy holidays to everybody. But that's something that I started incorporating into my vocabulary during the holiday, like Christmas time. And I feel like it's more inclusive. So that's what I do when I am wishing people. Personally, we don't celebrate Christmas or Christmas Eve. So we just spend that time as a family. Anytime we have days off and the whole family's off, meaning my parents and my siblings, we just spend that time together. And our version of spending time together is just eating and talking. So that's basically what we do for the holidays. Or if we're able to, we'll do like board games or watch a movie or something. But usually it's just chilling and talking, not really doing anything crazy. Excuse me. Slay says, I think if it's any old day situation, trying to make it special sometimes just makes it weird. Yeah. And you shouldn't have to feel forced to make it special, right? It is what it is for you. The pleasure for me is having a day off to sleep in, to do whatever I want, to have me time, whatever that means for you. And I think that's why this discussion meant so much to me, because there are people who celebrate it differently, and that's okay. Everyone doesn't have to celebrate it in the same way, and there's no right or wrong way of celebrating it. Yeah, what Sheepy said. I just like having the time off to spend with my partner and do whatever. It's nice. Absolutely. DG UK, hello. Welcome. Sometimes you just want a new color, but they're always green, boo. Aren't they always green? Je suis Confucius. So I know a big part of the of the holidays is gift giving, like we talked about. And this is going to be a big topic, okay? Because I was doing some research, because you always hear people say, over the holidays, 50% of Canadians are suspected to go into debt, or blah, 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 blah. So I kind of like researched some more into it because I wanted to know how much truth is there to that. And although I wasn't able to figure out concrete numbers for 2020, there was a study that was done in November 2019, and I understand this is pre-COVID, so the numbers will be different, but in 2019 of last year, it said that over a third of Canadian millennials, which is Sheepy, possibly me and Amy, possibly our age group, expect to go into debt this holiday season. So 36% is actually a pretty big number. And now, based on a November 2020 study, excuse me, they millennials, which is about 46%, parents with children under 18, and those who are already in credit card debt are the most willing to take on debt or go deeper into it this holiday season. And this was a poll done from creditcard.com. So basically, there is some truth to people going further into debt during the holiday season, which is really sad if you think about it. But there are no studies that prove correlation between holiday debt and suicide, because that was another thing that was going around, that people commit suicide around the holiday season, but there was no correlation between that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying a study wasn't done to prove that correlation. So why do you think there's this such a huge stress on gifts that people are willing to go into debt and spend beyond their means for these gifts? Like, why do you think there is so much emphasis on the gifts that people feel the need to like spend out of their means? Excuse me. Hi, Habibi. Amy, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think there's so many reasons. I think you know, you don't want to be the one that turns up and be like, oh, sorry guys, I didn't get you a gift because of money. Like, it's embarrassing. People don't want to kind of just be, you know, people try and keep these sort of things to themselves. No one likes asking for help.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think, like, I know so many people that will work like 12-hour shifts 7 days a week leading up to Christmas.
Yep.
Burning themselves out because their child or whoever wants this special thing, and you know, you want the magic of Christmas, and you know, gift giving. You don't want them to go, oh, but I really wanted this really expensive PS5 or whatever. You don't want them to kind of be like, well, why did I not get anything? And I know, like, one of my friends tells his children, you know, we don't know what you're going to get at Christmas. Santa, you know, it depends on how many babies are born that year, how many children are out there. So it changes every year, and I think that's quite a nice thing to kind of be like, you know, don't expect the same every year. And I think, you know, it's very easy to kind of like add up your money and go, I'm not going to be able to do it, so I'll get a loan, I'll get a credit card.
Yeah.
Some people still, because there's just so much pressure to, you know, to please everyone, and you know, so yeah, I think, like, luckily my little boy, like, I'll say, what do you want, and he'll be like, just a few toys, and I'll be like, anything in particular? And he's really into Roblox, so he's like, I just want some Roblox toys. I'm like, okay.
Are they really expensive? I don't know anything about
Not
Roblox.
really, like, not too expensive. And they do like different packs of stuff, so some are more expensive, some are really cheap. So
you have options. It's not like I want that one thing that's like $400.
Yeah, he's really like, and I'm like, which one? He's like, well, you know what I like, you know, Santa knows what I like, and things like that. So yeah, so far he's been like really, really easy. So I've not had the awkward thing. Like, normally I do overtime leading up to Christmas. There's not been any this year because no one's really leaving the country, like taking holiday, so no one's off, so we don't need to cover at work. That's normally when we get overtime offered. But yeah, so I normally get things throughout the year as well, in the sales and stuff like that. I try and plan ahead.
I love that.
I think some people though, like, if they're getting paid every week or every month, and that money is going on their rent and their bills, they can't see any other way of saving or going in, so they have to go for loans and so I think there's a lot of pressure to kind of
Deliver.
you want to treat each other, and so it is stressful.
Yeah, I agree. It is stressful. What about you, Papa Severus Rex?
We don't really use credit, to buy gifts for the kids. I think part of being, over 40 when we had the kids is that we probably were both burned by credit cards at an early age. I think a lot of people are. And, we learned that lesson. And actually, what the kids put on their Christmas list didn't really have much bearing on what we bought for them this year, I think. 'Cause they wanted things like an iPhone or their own laptop, which, for a 7-year-old or 8-year-old is not really,
It's gonna be a no.
too appropriate.
Yeah.
And my wife is also very organized and buys things throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Get it.
really, a lot of that stuff is done really before we even hit the holiday season. I'm ashamed to say I really don't have to put a whole lot of thought into the majority of their Christmas presents. I'll pick out one or two things that I know they like, but for the most part, I'm not the one collecting these gifts throughout the year.
So, but your wife is watching for like sales for things to,
Yeah, or just listening for things
Excuse
that
me.
they say that they like, or we notice, of course, what they're interested in. She's just always been very good at that.
And you mentioned something about a Christmas list. Where did that come from, or what is that?
That's actually one thing I don't really like. Is when people make Christmas lists. When you make just a list of the things you want for Christmas.
It's a list of things that you want for Christmas.
Right. And
Okay.
our family for a while would exchange these lists like right after Thanksgiving, mostly so that we know
Interesting.
what to get for the kids.
Okay. And this was something
because-
done by your parents, and it would just pass down, or
I think it's just something we started doing because not living in the same town as my nieces.
you can't always keep up with what they're liking and what they're changing. Yeah. Okay.
And then it sort of spread to like, what do the adults want? So like my mother would send a list saying, oh, I need a new spatula, some dish towels, and all this sort of thing. And it turned out to just sort of be kind of a shopping list. And so instead of buying gifts, it was kind of like you're running an errand, or just going through an Amazon. It's like, okay, I can hop on the Amazon and order that. for you.
Yeah.
It's not really the same as trying to think of something that maybe somebody would need, or a book that you would want them to read or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But as far as people going into debt, I just think that people are constantly under these messages, A, to get a credit card and take down more debt, and B, you're constantly being advertised to buy, everything.
Yeah.
So those things together, it's inevitable. People are going to go into debt.
Yeah, I agree. So the way I view, excuse me, gifts and Christmas is how I view how certain people celebrate Eid for Muslims and gifts. So for those of you who don't know what Eid is basically there's two Eids in the religion of Islam, and one of the biggest celebrations for us as Muslims is a celebration called Eid al-Fitr. And Eid al-Fitr marks the end of Ramadan, and Ramadan is the month in which Muslims fast from sunup to sundown, and they have no food or drink for that time. And the point of the fast is to really look at yourself and improve yourself as a person. It's for you to be introspective and find things about yourself that you're trying to improve, maybe letting go of certain bad habits, certain vices, certain, sins that you're constantly committing that you're like, I'm trying to turn my life around. And it's kind of like a halt in your life to be like, you use these 30 days to fix your life up. And we all know psychologically it takes 24 to 28 days to build a habit. So in 30 days, you should have built those habits that will carry you on till the next Ramadan, and you improve some more. So it's supposed to be a cycle of improvement. And it's also a time where you're supposed to use that time to gain spiritual closeness to God and find out more about your religion and develop your relationship with God and all of that. So that's the core of Ramadan. So how you are supposed to spend Eid is to be rejoicing and celebrating the fact that you're a better person. You're supposed to give to charity. You're supposed to spend time with loved ones. And yes, you can exchange gifts and wear wonderful clothes, but that's not the focus. That's not the point, right? And people get carried away in that, and they spend the last night of Ramadan, which is the night before Eid, and instead of using that last day of this like precious month to reflect on their journey of the last 30 days, do extra, prayers and extra, gain extra closeness to God and all of that, they spend that time like staying up, cooking and like stressing over gifts and what am I gonna wear, and I can't wear the same outfit I wore last year because people are gonna notice that I wore the same outfit, and then they're gonna like think I'm poor, and like it's a whole thing that they turned it into, which overshadows what the holiday's actually supposed to be about. So that's what I think when I see certain people going into debt over Christmas, because that's not what Christmas is supposed to be about. It is supposed to be about, I don't know the religious part of it, so I won't speak on that, but I do know that it's supposed to be about generosity and giving and helping, people who are less fortunate, and reflecting on how blessed you are and recognize the blessings in your life. So I always find it weird when I see all these videos on Jimmy Kimmel of House of Dub. Thank you so much for that scrumptious raid. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you for being here. You could have chosen to raid anybody and you chose me. Thank you. Hi, Beast Bucks. What I was saying is that it's supposed to be about all of these wonderful things, and sometimes I feel like people lose sight of it. And that's why when I see these videos on Jimmy Kimmel Live of like spoiled kids and how kids freak out when they don't get the right phone or the right Lego set or whatever. Lego sets are expensive, guys. I went with my nephew to the Lego store. Fucking Harry Potter. Like one something. That's I'm sorry. No.
So expensive.
No. And guess what?
I don't know when it happened.
A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old is not going to remember this Lego set when they're in their 30s. So all of this extra work and debt you're going through, it's like useless, They're not going to remember this. You know what I'm saying? Shit. So anyways, long story short, I don't understand why kids are spoiled, and no offense to parents out there who have kids like this, but like that should not be allowed. I'm not a parent, and I know it's hard controlling and like disciplining kids and guiding kids, but let me tell you, that is annoying to see. When you see kids in supermarkets and stores throwing a tantrum and a fit, trying to like get these expensive toys, and you can clearly tell that the parent can't afford it, or they're on a budget, or they're struggling to, and you see their cart and it's bare essentials, like that hurts me. It like really makes me upset, and it like I want to just, but I don't. And I feel like I wish the principles of Christmas were still like protected and kind of shown more to kids, because then you wouldn't have these spoiled situations. Sorry for that long rant,
they don't get spoiled on Christmas Day. That's something that happens.
Right. It's the principles. Right. But what I'm saying is like it's those principles that are not. And again, I'm not a parent. I know parenting is hard. Please don't like come after me for that. Like you're not a parent. You don't know. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, someone on the outside looking in, it's really disheartening to see that, because you're like, I know you're struggling as a parent, and I wish your kid could see that. We grew up like poor. Like we were really struggling. My family and I, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like we all slept in the same house on the floor. Like we've been through some really rough times, and we were taught the value of money from a very, very young age. So when we first got our first PS1 when I was in 8th grade, so this was like years after the PS1 came out, bro, that was like mind blowing. We were so grateful. We took care of that PS1 so much. We were so poor in that sense that this was like a huge luxury spend on the kids, so we really value that. And we only had the games that came in the bundle. So guess what we would do? We had fun with the demo CDs, guys. Y'all remember PS1 demo CDs? Y'all remember the demo CDs? That's what we had fun off of. We like, you can talk to my brother and he'll be like, I have distinct memories of just replaying the demo games because we didn't have other games to play. Like, that's why I guess when I see other kids going crazy, like, you didn't get me the iPhone X and all this, I'm like, y'all so spoiled. Oh my God. Oh, it hurts. But yes, when I think gift giving, that's what I think of. I think about the spoiled kids, and I just wish it was different. Oh, what about you, Sheepy? Why do you think there is such a huge stress on gift giving, and it turns into this like extra stressful thing when it's supposed to be wonderful and fun and exciting?
Right. I think it's kind of like a tradition that has spiraled out of control and has been grasped into the clutches of capitalism, where there's
That's
so
true, too.
much advertisement and so much pressure to spend,
Mhm.
buy, and you like have to do these things or you're like not a good person, basically. Like, it's like your value is
Tied to that.
tied to that. And even as a kid, I wasn't a huge fan of any of like the holidays and stuff. Like, I don't know, I found it very fake. Like, I could see a lot of fakeness in it, and maybe that was just being raised by like a narcissistic mother. So there's always an asterisk on my answers. But it's like, even as a kid, like, I was pressured into like, what do you want, like, so that I can like wrap something, and so I can like take pictures and things like that, of like,
Oh, interesting.
because I would be like, well, I just like to read, so it'd be cool if I had like a little bit of money to buy a book or something like that. And it was like, oh, that's not good enough. Like, that's not a good enough gift, because I can't wrap money, you know what I mean? So then it'd be like, well, I can give you a list of books or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not like
How it
what I
works.
wanted.
Mhm.
Was
The
never
gift was
good
about
enough.
them instead of about you.
Yeah, it became more about them than it was about
Interesting.
me. And maybe that experience led me to abandon holidays completely. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's very capitalistic
Mm.
nowadays. And I'm not saying that like there aren't genuine good times to be had. I mean, being able to spend time with family and whatnot, I'm sure is really good. Although as an adult and after like coming out and whatnot, it's not really an option either way. I only have my chosen family, so holidays are even more so not something that I'm really fond of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I like
Well,
that
I
you
think a
mentioned
lot
the
of these
capitalistic bit.
traditions are. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying
Okay.
I like you that you mentioned the capitalistic bit because I feel like that is sometimes overlooked, and that unfortunately is what it that's what it has kind of become now.
Oh yeah,
I think a
look at
lot of
all
these
the
traditions.
commercials and things like that just start spitting out and just pressure. And
Mhm.
I feel really bad for like a lot of parents, especially,
That's
those
yeah.
who struggle financially and stuff, because it's like they're put under all this pressure to spend beyond their means for their kids, and they don't want to look like bad parents because of it, even though I'm sure that they're not bad parents.
But again, it's what you said. Their parenting, for example, is tied to gift giving.
What they get there,
what they give, which is not the point.
Right. And not every, and not everyone is even receiving of gifts or likes receiving gifts that much. Like, I don't know if you've heard of like the 5 love languages or something. Like, gift receiving and gift giving is like the lowest on my totem pole. Like, I much more value spending time together. So like, it's like, oh, well, the best gift that you could give me is just to like, maybe we can just like hang out and watch a movie together.
Your
or,
undivided attention.
I just need your attention for a little bit. But you're like pressuring me into doing something that I don't even find valuable.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But even holiday movies are sort of centered around this, whole tradition of,
Yes.
going out like the day after Thanksgiving and like wrestling other shoppers in order to get the things that you want for your kid.
Right. Right.
And having this big pile of presents under the tree. And I think a lot of those things
Black Friday
really didn't exist before
Jingle all the way.
80 years ago. I mean, these are things that were sort of promoted by people who sell things to you. And it's important to them that you spend a lot of money. I mean, it's a big part of their revenue every year.
Yep.
And even like holiday media, if you look at Christmas specials and things like that, those are all sponsored by people who want you to buy lots of Christmas presents. So, I mean,
You see videos of people literally fighting
yeah,
for toys and for Christmas gifts or gifts for whatever occasions. And it's like we become animals, and I don't know what we're blinded by. I think it is that pressure, and it's like, I must get that. And I always remember, it's funny you mentioned the holiday movies, because I'm like, I don't understand it. I can't relate, because if that's sold out, I'll just get my nephew, or I don't have a kid, so like my nephew or my brother or something else. I'm sure I can find something else. He likes other stuff. I'll get something else. Like, it's not a big deal. And don't get me wrong, I love gifts. I will look for every and any opportunity to give gifts. And it's usually spontaneous. Like, if I'm thinking about my brother or my siblings or my family or my significant other, and I like something, I'll just be like, you know what? He needs a vacuum cleaner for his car. I'm gonna buy it. Boom. That's
That's
right.
how it should be.
Right. Or like something random, I'll just do it. Or if I see something on sale and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get that. But I guess I just never understood the going crazy over the gifts. And unfortunately, it is a reality for a lot of people, a lot of kids. And when I see those videos, they really like boil my blood like not many things do. And I really do hope and pray that the generation of kids coming up don't have those very high expectations of their parents having kids, having those types of gifts and unrealistic expectations, because supposedly the generation coming up is becoming more knowledgeable about things that we found out much later in life. So I would hope that knowledge is also about like how hard it is to earn money, and what do my parents need to do to earn X, Y, and Z, and what are they struggling with. So thank you, guys.
I think one thing that's really helped us is that our kids don't really watch television that is that has advertising. We have them watch things on Netflix or or on YouTube, or things like that. And I've got YouTube Premium, so they don't see commercials on that. Although YouTube does have a fair number of channels that's just like kids playing with toys, and those things are sponsored by toy companies. But for the most part, they're not seeing the commercials that I know that I used to see as a kid. I mean, I know when I was a kid, we were just inundated with commercials.
Oh yeah, Hot Wheels.
G.I. Joe and all these
Yeah, G.I. Joe. I remember those.
And I think one of the first like big, like gift manias was Cabbage Patch Kids. When I was a kid, that was like the mid '80s, and they had these dolls called the Cabbage Patch Kids. And there was this one year where everybody was just going nuts, and I guess all the kids were just yelling at their parents to get them the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh man.
And there was a
Cabbage
shortage,
Patch
and you had
Kids.
people fist
I did
fighting in
that.
the stores.
I was like, Mummy, I need a Cabbage Patch doll.
But our kids really don't watch advertising all that much. Can't
Yeah,
avoid it
same.
entirely, but they didn't have those kind of messages every day.
Okay, what's one thing if you have a thing that as a kid you were like, I want those so bad, so bad. I'll tell you guys mine. Y'all remember those I think they were Skechers that lit up when you stepped? Bro, I wanted
I want
those,
now.
but they were so expensive that I felt bad asking my parents, so I didn't. I kept it deep inside, but like, bro, I would wear those today, okay?
Girl,
No.
don't let your dreams be dreams.
I've got Batman.
Wait,
ones.
let me see.
Yeah. It's hard to see that they're lighting up, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've
Are
got these, like,
where'd you
little
buy
Batman
them?
And they light
Amy.
up.
Oh my god. Oh, you should. Okay. Wait, are Skechers? Or.
Yeah, these are Skechers.
Okay, well, maybe I will check them out then. I'm
You
gonna be
can
that
too.
31-year-old
so
wearing those.
Excited. I'm 30 years old.
I'm the same way then. Okay, it's gonna be me too. But they
It's
got some
fun.
cute designs. They got some cute designs. Okay, I'm gonna check them out. All right, you heard it here first. I'm gonna get
There's
my
all
light
sorts
up
of different
shoes.
ones. Mine are like super extravagant.
Blinged out. They're definitely blinged out for sure. That's nice though. Sponsored stream. Yo, no jokes though. Yo, I know people joke around about Skechers and make fun of it, but those are comfy shoes. Comfy. For real. I know I missed a couple of comments, guys, but thank you for being here. Salty Shug, Beast Bucks, and Spoticus, and House of Dub. Thank you once again for that raid. I appreciate it. And Rayback, thank you for coming in with that raid. Not sure if you're still here, but thank you. All right.
Probably is. That's my partner.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Hello and welcome. Yeah, I also think there's the shame for gifting, like when your gift is not up to par. So I don't know if you guys have this, but sometimes when you're sending gifts across the world, so we live in Canada and a lot of my extended family is in the Middle East or they're in Pakistan, and I've noticed that sometimes when we're sending gifts over or we're taking gifts over, for just even if we're traveling, it's always this thing like, oh, they gave us name brand stuff, therefore we have to give them name brand stuff too. And it's so unfortunate because a lot of situations or times it's expensive. It's very expensive, and we struggle to make it happen. We end up doing it in whatever means we have, but it sucks that there's that pressure. I hope and I pray that my friends in real life or my siblings, I know they don't, so my friends, I hope they never feel the pressure. Like, let's just say they want to get me a gift, I hope they never look at it like, oh my god, she's gonna know it's so cheap, or like, is she gonna care about the fact that I only spent X, Y, and Z on it? You know what I mean? Like, for me, okay, unless the only time I make an exception though is if we're in the stage of like, you're trying to show me that you're interested in me, then don't go to the dollar store and get me flowers, okay? Because I had someone do that. That's trashy. Okay? You think I don't know half the tab ripped up? I know dollar store what the tag looks like, okay? Don't do that shit. But if you're friends with me and you're like, oh, this is so cute, I saw it from Dollarama and it made me think of you, and it was like a craft handmade box or something, you can get some good stuff from dollar stores. That's cool. But if you're a guy interested in me, No siree, Bob.
Yeah, I think the thought in the gift
Yes.
is so much more important than the price.
Yes, I
I'd rather something
agree.
cheaper that I like than something really, really like. My aunt got me these like toning guy like hair curly things, and I always say like, well, you know, I work in an environment. I wear a hairnet. Like, I don't often have my hair down. So, and then they bought me that, and I was like, it's really, really expensive, and I appreciate it. But it's not really me. But you know, I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you appreciate
But I was
it.
like, you've kind of missed the. But
Yeah.
it's fine.
No, I totally get that. It's like when your extended family sends you like clutch purses, you know, those small, I don't even know how to wear them. Look, I don't even know how to show you guys, but those, I think you put it here, right? Or you hold it.
I
You
think
hold
so.
it. You hold it.
I think it's one of these you just put it on the table and walk off, and then late, like when you've had a few drinks,
Those ones.
spend hours looking for them. Yeah.
That one. Okay, that's the one I'm talking about. And they sent that to me. I'm not that person, right? That would hold it, I'm a backpack type of person.
Same.
I'm a tote bag type of person, okay? So I need a whole life kit in there. So that's not me.
If I can't fit a full on
For
you know,
real. For real. Yeah. So it's
if I
the
can't
same
carry
thing.
3 books.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate it, and it was expensive, name brand, but like, what am I gonna do with it, right? What am I gonna do with it?
Put it in your backpack.
Yeah.
But then it's like my backpack, which is all like rugged and stuff, and then you have this beautiful, classy, jeweled up thing that's gonna definitely get the jewel falling off and water spilled on it. Don't worry, I'm clumsy as hell. All that stuff. So we know that the holidays are about giving and being grateful and reflecting on gratefulness and helping the less fortunate. So what are your thoughts on this? I left it generic because I didn't want to like make it a leading question. So what do you guys think about the holidays and the concept of giving and gratefulness, helping the less fortunate and all of that? Sheepy, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, yeah. So we know that the holidays are about giving and gratefulness and helping the less fortunate. So what do you think about the holidays and giving and gratefulness and helping the less fortunate during the holidays?
I think like they say that the holidays are about giving and all that, but it's like not. Like, and okay, so like there's a lot of organizations that you can help, and for example, say like homeless shelters and things like that. Like during the holidays, they're often like overrun with people like giving like, you know, hats or jackets or whatever like that. And yet during the rest of the year, there's like nothing. It's like it's only during like this time that you have like all these volunteers, all these people doing stuff, extra money, things like that. But that's like not enough to get them through the rest of the year. And like what, you know, like these people exist 365 days a year. It's not, they don't just exist on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? So what are you doing to help the less fortunate if you care the rest of the year?
Okay. I see you.
Yeah, if anything, it sort of highlights that we're not helping these people the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Although
exactly.
it's nice to
Interesting.
have a yearly reminder
Yeah.
that we should be charitable. But maybe it should be a monthly reminder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or the way taking it back to like Ramadan, it just happens once a year, but the point is to give you that jolt of like, hey, watch yourself, you know, you're doing this and this and this, make these changes, and then you're supposed to carry it on for the rest of the year. So if it is a jolt of like, oh God, I don't give charity, I don't help the less fortunate, it should be that jolt, but it should be something that's carried on throughout the rest of the year till next Christmas, and then you do some more and blah blah blah. But yeah, I agree with Sheepy in that sense. I Oh, okay. You guys can answer, and then I'm gonna ask you guys a follow-up question. So, Amy, what do you think?
I think the same. Like, it's something that we should be thinking about all throughout the year. I know a lot of people can't afford to help, but there's other ways, you know, volunteering and things like that. And you know, a lot of us on Twitch, it's a great platform to, if you want, like, do charity streams and things like that, or donate to charity streams and stuff. But yeah, I think, you know, sometimes I'll sit there and I'm like all cozy, eating my cheese, and like there'll be this little advert of, I love it. There'll be like an advert, and it's like, oh, these poor starving children, and then I'll have that moment of guilt, and that's what they play on. But then it's something that I try and do regardless, like not just at Christmas. I kind of feel like maybe I am a little bit more likely to go, you know, right, I'll send a bit of money because I'm sitting here, I'm comfortable, I've got a house, and you know, but it is something that I do try and sort of remember to do when it's not just Christmas. But they definitely play on our emotions.
They do. They really do.
They make us feel so bad.
Yeah. And I do agree with that. It is a good reminder that sometimes you get so caught up in life and in work and in responsibilities that you're not really thinking about other people, and there's nothing wrong in that. And the reminder helps. It's just good to kind of regularly kind of like check yourself type of thing, you know? And we're human, we're going to falter, and we're not always going to be on point doing the right thing all the time and always giving charity and everything. But I think the point is just not to do it just once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to kind of, you know, maybe start the year, or
yeah,
you know, if people set up like New Year's resolutions and things like that, maybe go, oh, okay, I haven't been helping others, so maybe in the new year, if I can afford to, you know, you shouldn't go without hot water and stuff to help others, but you know, a lot of us are fortunate, and you know, but yeah.
And I like that you mentioned that sometimes you can't afford to, and that's such a good thing to keep in mind, because sometimes we think that the only ways we can help others is through monetary donations, but there are so many other wonderful things that you can do for people. You can actually donate your clothes if you're not using them. Some of us have some barely used, you know, winter gear or normal clothes, right? And what actually makes me upset, I'm gonna rant for 2 seconds, is in Toronto, it's so hard to donate my clothes. I can't find places that will take my clothes. It's so annoying. And then when I do want to donate it to someplace, they will resell it. And I don't want to resell it. I don't want you to make money off it. I literally want you to go. So I'm at the verge of like literally gathering my stuff and like going downtown and giving it to people myself, because this is ridiculous. Toronto, this is a metropolitan city. Why are we having issues with this? And then I remember distinctly, I felt so bad that day, guys. That's why it's like burned in my brain. I was downtown last year. It was wintertime. It was like really cold in the subway station. In the subway station, it was that cold. And there was a woman who was in like a torn up sweater, and she was like, does anyone can anyone give me money so I can go buy a winter coat? And I was like, oh, it like broke my heart, because I'm like, I have so much warm shit at home that I wish I just had it right now. I could transport to my house, grab it, and just give it all to her, because I think it could fit her. And the problem also is that we should make it accessible to people that want to donate things for free. Why is it so hard for us to donate for free? I see clothing donation boxes that people don't even check. It's overflowing with clothes, and no one is going there, picking it up and giving to people who actually need it. And that's very annoying, because those boxes exist for that purpose. So someone should be responsible for that box to, you know, empty it out, wash the clothes, or whatever you're doing with it, and give it to people. So that's really annoying. And I also like that what Brandon does. Sorry, Brandon, if I'm putting you on the spot, but Brandon Guerra, sorry, I don't know how to properly say your last name. Sorry, Brandon. But he volunteers at the pantry, every other week at his church, and that is something he does for free out of the goodness of his heart. And he helps so many people get access to things like food and bare essentials that they need, and that's such a great way to help people. Did I say it right, Guerra? I hope so. And from personal experience, I would highly, highly recommend that once COVID is over, everybody, this is like a life-changing thing, to volunteer at a soup kitchen or a shelter of some sort. Guys, I promise you it will change your life. I did it once before COVID happened, and it was a beautiful experience, and it really humbles you, and it shows you how much you have to be grateful, that you have to be grateful for. And it also reminds you how human you are, because you could just as easily be any of those people. And when people think about homeless people, sometimes they think in a very detached manner, like that could never be me. You almost think of them in like dehumanized manner, like they're dirty, they don't clean themselves, da, 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 all these things, right? But then you're at this shelter and you look around and you're like, they have friends, they have feelings, they feel joy, they feel excitement, they have wants, they want an extra banana. Like they're just like us. And I feel like sometimes they're talked about and they're shown to us in a very removed light. So when you're in that situation and you're actually serving someone, it is so humbling to serve someone food and see their excitement and see their joy and see them have these communities and these friends, and they have preferences of who they want to sit beside. And it's this really cute experience, and it is difficult because you won't always have the most positive people come through, but it's a beautiful experience. So definitely check that out. The news does that on purpose. Yeah. Why do you think they do that on purpose, Sheepy?
I think that honestly, I think it's to create a division of classes. There's a lot of classism in our society that we don't always address or talk about blatantly. But there is the top 1% want to stay the top 1% and then separate separate the other classes. So like if you are not homeless, then like they say, oh, you are better than those who are homeless, so like you should be happy where you're at because you're better than that person. Like at least you're not that person, so you're better than them. And so then you are like, oh well, okay, cool, so I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm not going to question why I don't have access to these other things because at least I'm not homeless.
Interesting. Yeah.
And it prevents rivaling those of the 1% who have like much excess. I don't know how to really word it very well.
Yeah. And I think when it's also removed, you kind of become desensitized. Therefore, you don't have empathy. Therefore, you're less likely to help them get out of the situation that they're in. And they just stay in that situation. So the tents are people that have set up the tents themselves and they're sleeping in the tents?
Yeah, so in our city, so I'm in the Las Vegas, Nevada area in the US. And the way that like the homeless population here is treated, especially downtown, like near the strip, is god awful. They have made it, that you're not allowed to sleep anywhere like down there.
Oh wow.
And there are all these people who set up their tents and their sleeping areas And they tend to group, so that they have a little bit of like safety and community together. And they had like, what do you call those things with the big shovels?
The snowplow or snowplow, maybe?
Kind of, yeah, like a plow. They had those and like crane things tearing up these tents. And there was video. I watched a video of it happening.
Oh my God.
And they were tearing them apart. They didn't have like the people there like pick up their stuff or anything like that. No, they just went in and were like, all right, y'all move out of the way. And they tore up this tent city. They tore it all up. And they said, get out. But there's no place for them to go.
Yeah.
Shelters are
overrun.
They're
overcrowded.
overrun.
Yeah.
They're overcrowded. They're not like monitored super well. So like if you go there, like you might not be, safe, especially if you are, even like of like, like a marginalized person or something like that. If if you tried to enter, you might be turned away.
Oh my God.
And then, if you're there, like you're risking maybe losing your things, or you're not allowed to take certain things inside. So a lot of people just opt to sleep on the streets so that they can hold on to their personal belongings without, risking losing those. And just there's just nothing being done. And I don't know, I guess sort of sweeping back to, what the topic is about, being, giving and things like that, is that like what really should happen is just a full-on revamp and movement toward completely absolving. Homelessness shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't be a
For
thing.
one,
Yeah.
there should always be a place for you to go. If you can't, there should just be housing.
It's an
And we
essential
can afford
need.
it.
Yeah.
We can afford it. Money doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Money doesn't exist. It's made up. There is, it can easily be funded, but it's just not, because they've just created it. Like there's just this division.
They want it. They want the division.
They want the division. They want the disparity between the haves and the have-nots.
It's been the oldest thing, like tribes, classism. Like it's been, even before money and stuff. The tribal difference. They're like, people thrive off of differences. I don't understand why, but power is a thing. Power is a thing where homeless people can go. Are they overcrowded, Chief? Over there?
Do they have like little apartments or something? Like if I had the means, I would start in my own city, just to make sure that it all like worked out and stuff. But if I had the means, I would create basically a like huge, tall, there's room, like apartment complex for homeless people or very, very low income people to live. And it would be, and I would help like fund that. And then if that worked, I would like present that sort of idea to other cities and other places, and then maybe it would like spread out, because it just shouldn't exist. And it just like boggles my mind that it exists. And overnight it could be fixed.
Yeah.
If like one of these like billionaires just gave up a little bit of their money. Like billionaires shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
They shouldn't exist. It could be fixed. And it just blows my mind that people are that selfish. It just doesn't.
Selfish. That's
comprehend
true. It's not going to affect you in many ways to give up $1 billion or something if you have 28, 29, 30, 40 billion dollars. I had this idea for a very long time where I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it a project. Every 6 months, I'm going to grab a homeless person off the street. I'm going to take them in my apartment. I'm going to wash them up. I'm going to cut their hair. And I'm going to go find them a job at Subway or Tim Hortons. And it was so beautiful in my head. And I'm like, I can do this. And then I was like, well, some of them have like serious mental health issues, and some of them require serious assistance. Some of them are struggling with addiction. What am I going to do if they're, they attack me? I'm by myself. I would need a team that of qualified people that would help me. Where am I going to get these people who would do it for free? So that plan got dissolved, but
You're hired.
sorry.
Said you're hired.
Yeah.
For my
Yes.
complex thing.
Yes.
Like you're on the team.
Awesome. I've made it, guys. I've made it. No, but I really wish that there were more people who were in positions of power that had this vision, because they could actually do something about it, Oh, that's what I want to ask you guys. Okay, so remember we were talking about gift giving, right? Yeah. Okay. Amy, what do you think about those people who take videos of themselves feeding the homeless, giving money to the homeless, finding a homeless person, giving them a place to live, and things like that? What do you think about
like the whole Mr. Beast and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, we spent a day with a homeless person and gave them this apartment, and it's like, some of the things that these people do is great, and then there's other times where it goes a little bit wrong, and they're like, we gave this person an apartment, but then we didn't continue to help them, so then they couldn't actually stay there, or they ended up in more debt and things like that. So I don't know, I think it depends on each situation. Like, you see people going out and they're like, we're giving water to all these homeless people, and in a way, like, it's kind of like me, like, I'm going, look at how great I am, look at what I'm doing. But then it also like could lead to people going, well, I could do that as well. So I can see both sides. It's like when they did the ice bucket challenge, there was a lot of people that was like, I'm not gonna pour water over my head, I'm gonna take it to people that need water. And I was like, that's quite nice.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I think a lot of the time it did seem to be a lot more about them. We're going to buy this water, we're going to do this. Brief glance at them handing it out and the few people that they helped. And then it's like, we feel so good for doing this. And it was kind of, maybe they're doing it for the wrong reason. But then at the same time,
you get
I don't know. Yeah, like, at least they are doing something. And I do look at things like that and kind of think, well, maybe I could do something as well, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Both sides.
Okay, so you can see both sides. Papa Rex, what do you think?
I guess what I don't really understand is the anger towards the homeless population. I know, like, I have friends in Portland, Oregon, and I think they have, quite a situation going on there with the homeless. But it seems like they get news articles every day that they'll share with me over social media, where it's just people just screaming about homeless people. And to me, it just seems like you're blaming the victims in a way.
Oh God.
I realize there's a certain amount of freedom probably in being homeless.
Yeah.
Maybe some folks don't want to give that up, but I think also in news media, there's a lot of people that really respond to righteous indignation. And so, anytime you can pick on somebody like that and sort of convince your readers that they're being insulted somehow by homeless people, it's like it's scratching an itch somehow. I think that could be a powerful motivator. But I don't understand really the sort of anger, because I have friends that are actually, very angry every day about homeless people. It's not really something I would really ever think to be angry about.
Yeah, and it's not like they're, like you said, there's some people that are choosing. A lot of times it's not really a choice. If you actually think about it, I was thinking about this the other day, that if I lived alone, it's quite easy to become homeless, guys. Let's just say you lose your job, right? Sure, you got some savings. Sure, you could, I don't know, try to get a job at Tim Hortons or something, but let's just say that fails and you have nothing. And the government, for whatever reason, does not want to give you EI, or employment insurance, or they do, but it's not enough. Literally, what are you going to do? The landlord comes, where's the money? I don't have it. You have a month to clear out your stuff. Like that's it. Like it's nothing drastic and like this huge event. It's literally as simple as that. And that's that. Like then where do you go? You have all your stuff and got to find some place to start next. And usually if you don't have loved ones or family or friends that you can stay with just to get, you know, on your feet again, you probably end up at a shelter or you end up somewhere like that. So it's quite easy. Like we're trained or shown to be very detached from homeless people, but it could very easily be any of us. Very easily. Very
I
easily.
think most people are just a few paychecks away from
Yeah.
being homeless, honestly.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few documentaries where, you know, they go out and they speak to these homeless people, and there's been quite a few where they'll be like, you know, only a few months ago I had my own business, recession hit, we went under, now I've got nothing. Or, you know, people with like mental health issues who couldn't work, had no support, ended up unemployed and just left on the street. And then it's so hard to get back because you can't get a job because you've not got an address. You're
Yes.
spending, yeah, it's so hard. Like I think some places do have it so I don't know if you guys have it there, like big issue, they have like the big issue people, and they can sign up and then they go out on the street and they sell these magazines for like a pound or like a couple pound, and they get to keep the money.
Oh.
And I think some of these companies, they say, okay, well, you know, we'll help you, you sell these magazines, you have an address to put on job application forms, and I think they offer other support and other help as well.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, it's really like they don't earn much, but it's a start. And I think from that you probably get more help because, you know, you're committing, you're going out every single day, selling these things, prove that you do want to work and you do want to better yourself. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people that, you know, literally just lose everything so quickly, and once it starts going wrong, like I after university I lived in a flat, and I lost my job.
Oh my
And
god.
we were applying for like a cheaper flat to live in, and the guys like screwed us over. They was like, yeah, the place will be ready in 2 months. Handed in our notice for the place. We had like no savings or anything, so we gave them the deposit, and then they didn't give us a contract, they didn't give us a key. When we went to like chase it all up, the office was closed. He was abroad somewhere. So, and we were so lucky that we could stay with someone because we would have been homeless. I didn't have a job.
God.
It's like if you've got a job, then you can kind of, you know, try and hopefully someone will help you. But to try and get a job with no address.
That is
But yeah,
so
we
scary.
Yeah, we were lucky. Like we stayed with family and friends and stuff, and then, you know, we quickly kind of got back on our feet. I then got a job. But if it wasn't for that, if we didn't have anyone nearby or no money put aside, because we had to chase up getting our deposit and things like that, we did get it back. But, you know, that could have been it, really. So
Just like that, guys.
yeah,
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
yeah, so quick.
I'm glad that chapter of your life is done now.
Yeah.
My goodness,
Yeah.
and you have something more stable now, Amy. I'm glad
Yeah.
for you and your son.
Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah. Sheepy, what about you? How do you feel about people taking videos of them doing that type of stuff and posting it, I guess?
I think if it's, you know, a rather intrusive video or something like that, it's just a little bit too much. I get why people do it. People want attention. They want the clout. You know what I mean? And so I have mixed feelings about it, but at the same time, it shines a light on what you could be doing for someone, or things, or that that these people are human, you know. And so I think I would rather them go ahead and film doing it than not, as long as, you know, it's not like overly intrusive or
Yeah.
whatever. But sometimes, you know, the videos are fake.
Ugh,
Uh,
yeah.
you know, I forget, but there was like one like particular story that like came out, and it was like real. It like blew up, but it turned out to be fake or whatever. But I don't know. I just wish that more people would help who have the means to help. And it's like I don't. I wish I could, but it's like
You don't. Yeah.
I don't. you know, it's like I'll do what I can. I live in the desert. It gets 130 degrees here. I think it's like, what is that, like 49 degrees Celsius or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so I drive, like when I would drive around like for work or something like that, I always kept extra water bottles and like some
Oh,
snacks
that's
in my
good.
car. And so if I saw somebody like at a light or an intersection or whatever, I would just hand it out my window to them.
I like
Because it's
that.
like, I can't, you can't always give like monetarily, and also, and I don't, and I would rather like know exactly where the money's going or whatever. So
Yeah, I'm like
it's
that
like,
too.
I know everybody needs water.
Right.
Here's some water. It's don't get dehydrated. So just little things like that or whatever. I don't know. I used to even pass out like I give like water, a snack, and then like a little like a pamphlet or a book to read. Like,
That's
so,
nice.
you know,
Something like a pastime.
yeah, just something to pass the time. I don't know. Just
Yeah, I
But
actually really like that idea. I think
I
I'm
like
gonna
that.
start doing something like that, like mini care packages and having them in
Yeah.
the car. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. And
I
guys,
would keep, like,
toothbrushes go on
grocery bag
sale
with stuff
too.
in
Yeah.
it, and then I would hand out the grocery bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea. There you go, guys. You just got an idea of something that you can do that won't cost you much if you keep watching out for sales, for like maybe like bottled water to go on sale, or like toothbrush, toothpaste to go on sale. I don't know what else you could put in a care kit package, but maybe pads, stuff
Yeah,
like
like
that. You never know what people
washed
would...
wipes,
Ooh,
just little things like that.
That's a good one. That's a
Yeah,
good one. Baby wipes.
if you were recently in a hotel and you kept the little soap bottles or soap bars and stuff, just throw that
I
in
always
there.
keep them. Always
Yeah,
take
I-
them.
me too.
I collect them.
Me too.
I have a full box of hotel
It's like
soap.
memorabilia. I love that. Thank you. So I asked
Yeah.
this question because I was conflicted myself. As I said that I did that, I volunteered at the shelter, and I was really excited, and I like told people in my Discord that I was going to do it, and it was more like an experience that I wanted to have for myself. So I was like, after I told people about it and I made the video, I'm like, should I have done that? Like, does it make me look like I'm trying to make it about myself or not?
It's so hard.
Right. But then
even just talking about what I do
makes you cringe a little bit, right?
makes me feel weird. I don't talk about that. I don't talk about doing that. But like, since we're on the topic, it's like, well, this didn't doing these things didn't cost me any money because I already had those things in my house. And it's like, well, I can spare a water bottle, and I'm not going to eat these snacks. It'll be okay. Like, I can skip a snack and I can give them one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like something that I can just like keep or whatever. Or sometimes like maybe you're at work and like there's like,
snacks being given out or something.
Snacks at the work or something. And so you keep it in your bag and you don't eat it. You give it away. Like, free. That's how I came across a lot of snacks, because I work, I work with a program with like high schoolers and stuff, and we always like give them snacks and whatnot, because you gotta like keep teenagers fed, and I'll like take one and I'll just keep it and
away,
I just create like this collection of random snacks that like I can keep in my car.
I love that. Yeah.
But I don't like talking about it too much, because it's like I'm not
You're not
I'm not
trying to
doing it
make
for
it
me.
like, wow, I'm such a good person.
Wow, I'm like the best,
Right.
and you should be like me.
Right. And that's
But
what I
at the
Like,
started
no, I
thinking.
feel
You need
bad
to
that I'm
have,
not doing more.
You
Yeah.
get to get the message out there that you can volunteer in this way. and-
Right.
Yeah,
and
if
this
you
is
don't
what
have
it's like.
like that didn't it also didn't cost me any extra time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's like you you see people all the time at like I don't know, if you especially if you're in the city at like a stoplight or whatever, like at the in the center median or whatever or on the street, and you can just roll down your window, hand them this package, and go on with your day, and you didn't have
To go out of your way or
you
anything.
didn't have to go out of your way to with if you're busy, it didn't cost you any time. If you don't have a lot of money, it costs nearly nothing.
Mhm.
So that's like something minimum that could be done.
Yeah, I agree.
And in my experience, people always say thank you. Also, I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
think, everyone's heard this story. I think of somebody who tried to give someone a ham sandwich, and like the homeless person threw it back in their face and was just like belligerent. But I've never had that happen.
No.
I don't
Never seen that
I
happen
feel like that's sort of like
ever.
an urban myth.
Yeah,
I think
I've
it kind of makes them
I've never
feel-
seen that happen.
I think it gives them a bit of an excuse, like, well, I can't do it because I heard that so and so tried to give someone a sandwich, and they were like, "No, give me drugs," and chased me away with a knife, and you're like, "That didn't happen."
That
sure
did
how
not
often
happen.
that
Like no,
No.
it just doesn't
Everybody likes
happen.
sandwiches.
Exactly.
It has happened
Like-
to me before where I've offered to give somebody food and they said, no, I want money. So I have said, I'm sorry, I'm willing to give you food. You can even choose the sandwich you would like. So
Yeah.
they thought about it and they were like, okay, I'll go with you and choose the sandwich. So, I mean, sometimes you might have to, this is Toronto, so it might be Toronto homeless or different. But that has happened to me a couple of times where they're very adamant about getting money, but they have not turned away food if I just give them food. But if I
Right.
say, would you be okay if I bought you something to eat? Then they're like, no, I want money. You see the difference? But yeah, I've never had someone turn away the food. Oh, one time. That was just
I
like
mean,
a
I've certainly
one-off,
seen very
right?
aggressive panhandlers,
Mhm.
especially in Chicago. For some reason, I always like very aggressive.
Maybe the Toronto and Chicago ones are similar. Maybe. But you said you visited Chicago, or it was just something that you had.
Yeah, anytime I've flown into Chicago and been downtown, it seems like panhandlers just for some reason seem more aggressive in Chicago than they are in Boston. Not that I haven't seen aggressive folks in Boston as well.
Yeah.
But panhandlers aren't necessarily homeless, though. Not necessarily.
What's a panhandler?
Asking for money.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
Not necessarily homeless.
Just someone asking for money.
Usually someone on the street asking for money, or maybe like doing some sort of like little thing or whatever, like maybe they're
Singing?
doing an instrument or something like that, and they're asking for money.
Are these like the kind of people that would be like, "Oh, I need 20p for the phone," and then they'll stand there all day, or is that different?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is that? What is that? Amy?
Asking for money.
Yeah, we get it like at our bus stations, and they're like, "Oh, I need 20p for the phone," and then you're like, "I saw you here like 7 hours ago," and they're just getting like a little bit of everyone, and I'm like, I don't think you need to make a phone call. You've got a phone on you.
I've seen
A
that
nicer
happen
phone than
one
I do.
time. Yeah.
I think of street musicians a little differently. I think. I mean, we
Because
call
they're
them buskers.
earning their.
And they
They're
actually have to be
working.
licensed, at least in Boston.
Yeah, you
If
need
you're
a
playing
license
on
here.
the-
Same here.
on the T in Boston, then you're licensed to be there, and I think you have to sign out to be in certain stations at certain times as well.
Mhm.
And of course,
In
you can't
certain
yell at
places in Vegas, you have to follow certain rules, like to be in certain areas.
Yeah, I think that's. the
But there
same
are
here.
some places where you'll just get like some randos.
Mhm.
That are just
Yeah, I
there.
think here you get a license and they give you a place that you can be at, and if you go in other people's places, then you'll get your license taken off or get moved along and stuff.
Yeah,
I think in
it's
some
like
of the
that.
smaller towns, they it's not as, but in London, the better ones go to like the better areas, and you kind of earn your way up. They can make a
Interesting.
fortune.
It's a thing. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. But yeah, thank you guys for answering that particular question. That was a random one that came in my head because we were talking about charity, and I'm like, was I that person? But you know what? When I sat back and reflected, I was like, I thought to myself, anyone who knows me would know that I wasn't trying to make it about me and like how great of a person I am. I have many flaws and I'm constantly trying to work on them, and it's a huge struggle, and it's something that I always wanted to do, and I wanted to cover the experience because I learned so many things that people normally don't talk about when they're covering an experience of working in a shelter. They'll cover things like make sure you have your hands washed, make sure you're clean, you smell good, this and this and this, like the administrative stuff of volunteering. But the actual things of, like, don't make eye contact with them. I didn't know that was a thing, but that was something that I learned at the shelter. We were told not to make eye contact with them when they're taking their food, when they're eating. So that was interesting. Didn't know that. When you ask them if, like, you're not supposed to leave their side after you put down the plate for them till you make eye contact with them and say, is this okay? Because once you walk away and they say they don't want that, all that goes in the garbage. So and they have a limited supply, right? So that's someone's meal that just went out in the garbage. So all of these things I had no idea. So I was very intrigued, and I learned so much. So I felt like my video was more of an educational video and more of like a reflective type of video. So I didn't feel that bad. But going forward, I think I would still make those kinds of videos just because it's a good reminder for myself. And who knows, it could be a reminder for someone else who might not know that that's a possibility of a way that you could help someone that might like click with them and be like, oh, I do have a shelter close by. I'm going to try that too. So I like what Amy says. She's like, she can see both sides. On one hand, she does see the people who are just like, look at me, I'm such a wonderful person. And then the other part who's like, it's a good reminder for us.
Yeah,
So,
I think it does depend on who's sharing the information, and like it does give you ideas. It's like Sheepy saying about the little hand package thing.
yes.
I could do that to so many people, and
And it's something you didn't think about, right?
Yeah, like there was a while when I was gonna do like little packages for the maternity ward that I had my son at, because
Ooh.
I forgot my toothbrush.
Ooh.
And it was awful because
Ooh.
they give me one. They're like, bring your stuff. They wouldn't give me like heartburn tablets, even though I was like, I'm in a hospital.
Amy,
I
would have taken care of you, boo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it kind of makes me think of like little things that I could do for that, and then I completely forgot about it. And now he's saying, I'm like, I could redo my idea.
Yes, you could.
So
Yes.
I think it's good to like give other people ideas, especially when it's things that don't cost much money, don't take up a lot of time. Anyone can do it. So yeah, I think in that sense, it's really, really, really helpful to, give ideas out there and show that anyone can do it.
Yeah, agreed. Which reminds me, this is not a plug, but if you guys have any more ideas like this, please feel free to join my Discord, even if it's just to drop in your ideas. I have a channel called That Good, and it's an idea I came up with like a year ago or so, and that channel is actually specifically dedicated to sharing ideas of how we can do these cute little things for each other and make the world a better place and make our lives better, make someone smile. So if you do have an idea in there, I'm going to be dropping Sheepy's idea in there, unless Sheepy wants to drop it himself in That Good. But feel free to drop your ideas in there if you have anything that you want to share. I'd really like that. But Sheepy is on the right track. Let's take a washroom break / food break / water break, whatever you'd like. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so. Sound good, guys? All right. I'm going to go pee. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Be right back. Gonna go to the bathroom. Oh shoot, you guys are back. I'm sorry.
We was quick.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Alrighty. Now we're getting into some deep stuff. What are some lessons that you guys have learned over 2020? I can start us off with some sad goodness. There are many lessons, but I'll keep it short. I'll keep it to one. One of the main lessons that I learned over 2020 is that when you're lonely, you're not yourself. And what I mean by that is when you're lonely, it's possible that you will act in ways that you never thought that you could or would act. And I think that that's such an important lesson, especially for me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but it's important because now I know that when I am lonely and when I'm feeling that type of way, there are certain measures that I need to take or put in place to protect myself and protect others from me. And what I mean by that is I can't trust myself when I'm lonely. This music is so happy. This is like, I can't trust myself when I'm happy. It's like, what is happening? It's like distracting me.
We're sad in the club.
Right?
Yeah, it's like midnight. And you're on your
Oh
own.
my god. This is like way too happy. It's like throwing off the vibe, bro. Okay, so what I was saying is some real shit. And yeah. Oh my god. Oh shit, B. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the host, B. Thank you for the host. I appreciate it. Thank you, B. Y'all really trying to throw off my vibe. Okay, I see how it is. Trying to get my feels here. So, no, for real though, I was very, very, very lonely this year and the year before, and I still have moments where I feel very lonely, and I have gotten much better at coping with the loneliness. But I know early on in this year, it was really tough for me, and I feel like end of last year too, I made some choices in my life that I feel like my life would have been better without. But now I know that as soon as I start to feel those things and I start to go in that dark space, that dark headspace of feeling alone, feeling worthless, feeling, all of these negative feelings, I know what I need to do to protect myself and protect others, and be honest with myself about that instead of shoving those feelings aside. So that's one of the lessons that I have learned. How about you, Amy?
I learned a lot this year.
Right? Right? Oh my God.
The year started a bit wobbly. Well, it was the end of last year. My mental health just went. And I was put on different medication, which was just awful. It made me worse, and I was angry and sad.
Oh my God.
And like I was literally like, I went back to the doctors and I was like, I came here needing help, and the medication you put me on literally makes me want to kill myself. Like, it made me that bad, and I'm glad that I was strong enough to kind of go and just be like, this is the medication that's doing this. This is not how I feel.
Wow.
And like, I know in that point I was not a good mum. I was not a good person. I couldn't do anything. So I went back, got put on different medication, which was better. And then I was signed off work for about 3 months, and that's when we kind of went into lockdown. And I literally just spent 3 months just doing nothing. And well, until the school was closed and I had to then teach my little boy. But it was good because then I started to get this routine that I hadn't had in a long time. I was getting up when his school day would have started, and we had this like schedule. We were eating lunch at a good time, and I was, we were reading and we were learning, and I kind of then started to realize that I do enjoy reading. I do enjoy looking at the stars and spending time just, I don't need to spend money to have fun all the time. And it made me kind of realize how much I take for granted. Then I miss my family. Like when we first went into lockdown, I was like, it'll be 2 weeks, see them in a bit, COVID will be gone. And then the weeks went on and I was like, okay, this might be a bit longer. And yeah, so it makes me kind of think, I'm one of those people that goes, when I want to go swimming, I'll go next week, and then I'll go next week, and then I put things off because like I do get anxiety as well. So I said, if it's something that I'm not comfortable with, like even going to swimming, I'm like, I'm going to go there and then I don't know what to do. I don't know who to speak to. I don't know where the changing rooms are. I don't know how much it is. And then
it's better I don't go, and I'll go next week.
Yeah. And like I did actually go swimming, and that was like the week before we went into lockdown, and I was like, for God's sake.
But you got that under your belt.
I did it, yeah. And now I know that, when it's safe to go back, I'll do it. And I think now I'm going to be more likely to, go, I want to do this. I want to see someone like my friend, or I want to do this, or I want to see my family, and just go.
Maybe come to Toronto.
Exactly. It's like, to actually just, rather than say, well, I want to do this, I'm actually going to do this. And then when I went back to work, I had this massive like heart to heart with my boss and explained everything, and he was like, yeah, like I wish we'd sort of stayed in contact while you were off, because then maybe we could have got you back earlier and helped me out more. So we have like weekly meetings where he's like, how are you doing? Even if it's just like
a check-in.
Even if it's just like, how's streaming going? Have you streamed? Like, have you done this? Have you done that? And that's made such a change, because now if I'm having a bad day, he'll be like, let's have a check-in. Oh, you're not doing so well. Like, I find it hard going up and going, I need help.
Okay. But because it's already set in place, you don't feel like you have to go out of your way.
Yeah. And he gave me his number and was like, even if you text me and just go, I'm struggling. And I think opening up a bit more is something that I'm going to continue to do. Actually doing things and making plans and sticking to it, because I had so many plans this year that aren't going to happen or haven't happened, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to do them eventually. And yeah, I think the best thing to sort of take from it is, I put so much time in like learning how to better myself mentally, physically, and all that lot, that I want to keep doing that, and I want to keep just kind of being happy and enjoying the sky.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
But it's been
I'm
a rough
so
one.
happy for you, Amy. Like, I know you can look back at January and be like, I'm not that same person, and I'm so proud of myself. And it's always
Yeah.
nice when you're able to do that.
Yeah, I feel like I've come a long way from the beginning.
That is so awesome. Oh, I'm so happy for you. It's really nice to hear. Do you feel like your son has any of those same struggles that you're struggling with? Like, does he get anxious at all, or?
Oh yeah, it's really hard because he gets really, really anxious. Like his teacher, like he's only 6, and his teacher was like, "You've lost this book that you brought home. You need to find it, or your mum will have to pay for it." So he come home crying because he's
Oh,
like, "I
poor
can't find this book."
baby.
Yeah, he couldn't sleep over the weekend because he was like, "They want this book," and I was like, "It's just a book." Like, but I remember being that same kid, and I spoke to his teacher, and I was like, "He never brought that book home. Like, he comes home, he gives me the bag, I check what's in the bag, I take out his water, and I'm like, that book, he never brought it home." I was like, you need to actually see whether another child took it home or whether it's in the classroom. And I haven't heard anything since. But he worries about, things that I'm like, "You're 6, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it." But to him, that's, and he's, I don't have like OCD, but I have like OCD tendencies. So I worry a lot about hygiene, like things have to be in the right place and all that sort of stuff. And he started to
Pick
be like,
up on that?
he's like, "I touched whatever, I need to wash my hands." I'm like, no, you're fine. And he's like, no, like, it's this like compulsion. And so, I try and kind of talk to him about what I've learned for myself without being like, "You've got this problem,
Right.
you might go down
There's
this
something
routine."
wrong with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I try and sort of like educate him as well as guide him and stuff. But as well, the other thing that I've noticed is like I had like eating disorder problems, and he like there's a few times where like I'll see him like looking in the mirror, and he's like, "Caden's slimmer than me." Like, I'm like, "Mate, you're 6.
Oh
You're."
my god.
And the thing is like, I know about Caden's family, they don't have food. They're really, really poor. So, which I don't want to say to him, like, "You're eating normal for a 6-year-old. Caden's not. That's why he's slimmer." But it's, yeah, he does sort of obsess a little bit. Like he'll be watching TV, and then he'll just stand up and start like running on the spot. And I say to him like, "Why are you doing that?" Because I don't want to be, assume it's because he wants to lose weight or that he's worried about it. It might be energy and he's really excited. So I try and like ask him, because I think there was a lot of times when
You'd assume.
and like my parents, they knew I had problems, but they didn't know why, what they were, how to deal with them. And I think now there's a lot more information out there, so I think it's hopefully easier to help him if these do continue. It might just be phases, it might just be, it's hard to know what's going on in his little 6-year-old mind.
But when
But yeah.
you've noticed when he becomes anxious, you don't become anxious along with him. You kind of
No, I tend to be, the things that I tell him are things that I probably should also tell myself, because it's very easy looking in and going, "I've got no reason to worry about it. It's just a book. It's just this. It's just that." Or, my friend will say to me like, "Oh, I shouldn't wear this dress. I feel fat." And I'll be like, "No, you look gorgeous." But I will also be looking at what I'm wearing and going, "You look fat," when at the time I was very, very slim. Like, it's very, very easy to help others and not yourself. But then he does it to me as well. Like, he said to me earlier, he was like, "Mummy, you're really happy today. I'm so glad you're happy." And then a bit later when I was getting stressed about something, and he was like, "Yeah, it was nice when you was really happy earlier." And I was like, I was like,
Oh my god.
yeah, like, but I said to him, I'm like, I'm still happy now. I'm just busy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just
Oh
rushing around.
man.
But
That's
yeah,
a very gutted type of response, baby. Oh my goodness.
there's quite a few times where he says things and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I
You're
don't
like
realize.
shook.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't realize that he's picking up on these things and how smart he is.
Yeah.
But I think kids do surprise us with what they do take in.
I say that all the time. Kids are actually a lot spookier and smarter than we think they are. We think they're very dumb and we do stupid things in front of them and then we're
Yeah,
surprised when they pick it up. Like
swearing.
we got to be more careful, you know.
Yeah, my son's repeated back a lot of words that he shouldn't know. But then I was quite impressed when he then used one of them in the right context, and I was like, you shouldn't say that. However,
yeah.
that sentence flowed very nicely.
Thank you for that, Amy. What about you, Sheepy? What are some lessons you've learned from 2020?
Lessons I've learned from 2020.
Yeah.
This year has felt like so long.
Mhm.
I've been self-quarantining since March.
Mhm.
So I haven't really left my house much. But I think with a lot that has happened this year, especially if you're aware of some of the things that have gone down in like the US, I'd say some lessons are like no matter who you're talking to, whether they are your family or whatever, like to not be afraid to speak up and stand for what you believe in and call people out when they're wrong. And that if you know, if their thoughts, you know, don't align with yours, with your morals and things like that, you don't have any you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them anything. You can choose who you spend your time with and who you want to be around, and it's not, you know, some people you just gotta like give up. You know, and I've you know, like with my family and stuff, I basically only acknowledge like maybe 2 cousins, and that's about it. I still kind of talk to my grandparents, but a little less. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's not all bad. I mean, I've met a lot of really cool people on Twitch and stuff who I now consider my family. So, you know, it was kind of a lose some, gain some situation, but I think it's worth it for, you know, my own mental health and things like that to protect myself more from those people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shammy's my wife. Yeah, Shammy's part of that family. So yeah, you know, it's not a. I don't even consider it like a huge loss or whatever, because like I wasn't. I mean,
Close.
like I mentioned, you know, a little bit before and stuff. Like I, especially in the last couple years, the little family that I did talk to, kind of, ditched me for, a lack of a better term, because of, you know, who I am. So, you know, I like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. And so like with 2020 and all the stuff, going on and all the movements and things like that, I just like hopped on board and I was like, yeah, you know what? Screw you guys. So I've become a lot louder.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
That was good.
I like it. Yeah, I want to add on to what Sheepy said. That's a lesson I learned this year too, that don't be ashamed for asking for what you want. Don't be ashamed for having standards. You are not wrong to know how you should be treated and require that of someone. And too often we meet people that guilt us and shame us for wanting to be treated well. And that just makes no sense. And for a very long time, I was putting up with that shit. But this year, there just came a point where I'm like, why? Like, I can be shitty to myself. I'm allowed to do that because I'm me. I can talk down to myself. I can do all these things. But why am I allowing people to have a place in my precious life when they're not bringing anything positive to my life? They're bringing more stress. They're actually making me feel like a handful and like I'm being unreasonable for wanting to be treated well. So I have dropped a few people this year and it felt damn good. There we go.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
What
It's something I worry about a lot. I mean, having two daughters,
yes.
I worry a lot about, making sure that they are good self-advocates. I mean, I try not to, be too tough on them or too strict. Both of my daughters are very happy to argue with me if I tell them not to do something, and I mean, if I use a certain tone of voice, then they know that I mean business. But for the most part, they can be pretty argumentative, and I'm okay with that. I do want them to say no to people. I want them to stick up for what they want. And I guess as you get older, you maybe can become more wise about knowing what you should and shouldn't want. But I think that sometimes raising kids, we sort of beat the will out of them, or some people do. I know as a kid, I certainly, was treated that way. And it took me a long time to kind of stick up for myself.
Yeah, they become complacent.
Yeah, that's something I worry about. My older daughter is 8 now, so I mean, in a few years, she's going to be heading into those teenage years, and I worry about being prepared as far as being able to give advice, things like that.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say though is, I don't know if anyone feels this way as well, but for someone who identifies as a female, the first interaction that you have with a male figure is your dad. And so the way your dad treats you and the way your dad makes you feel is what you unconsciously perceive is how a partner should treat you. And I'm not saying my dad treated me poorly, but there were certain traits that I was okay tolerating because I grew up with that and I thought that was okay. But there's a certain tolerance that you have for your dad that you should not have for your partner, right? Like, my dad will sometimes like yell for stupid things and like get angry, and sometimes he has a temper. I don't want that in my partner. Gross. No, like my dad can have that because that's my dad, and he's like 60 something. There's no changing him now, or like 70.
Yeah, some of that's generation.
You know what I mean? But like, that is not okay. So that's something that you can kind of like, that's the role that you're playing in your daughter's lives. Like, the way you treat them and the way they feel. Like, if they know that my dad thinks I'm amazing, I'm intelligent, I'm smart, I can do whatever I want, I can be X, Y, and Z, whatever I want, and he thinks highly of me, and he treats me so amazingly, that's the type of man that hopefully that they're gonna go for, because they've been taught to search for that, like unconsciously. So I don't know if that puts more on your plate or less on your plate, but I just wanted to say that because that is something that a lot of people overlook. That's important to note. Yeah. What are some things that you've learned this year, Papa Rex?
I mean, really, you know, and I've been home since early March. I work from home, and I've been very lucky to be able to work from home.
Yes.
But you know, having the two kids home as well, that means that, you know, the parents are also teachers' assistants, and there are times when all four of us are on separate Zoom meetings. You know, it's very hectic, and so my regular work day is interrupted by homeschooling, basically. You know, we're setting them up, you know, with remote learning, but you know, it takes time, and so I generally have to go back after the kids go to bed. I've got to come downstairs and usually work until 10 or 11 at night. Then I wake up the next day, and you know, it all starts over again. So for me, the struggle was, you know, how do you schedule the things that you need to do for yourself in your day? And in some ways, not going to the office was helpful, because you're in this house all day, but you have to schedule the things that are important, especially getting older as I am. I need proper nutrition. You know, you can't just be reaching for junk food all day. Mindfulness is important. Fitness is important. Alone time is important. Especially for someone like me, I'm a very introverted person, so I need a few hours where nobody's talking to me.
Right.
And it was a real challenge at first, because got a house full of people here. So I ended up waking up early. After the first month or so, I started setting my alarm for like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And then, so that way, there's hours where it's just me, but I can come downstairs and do some chores. Or that's during the summer. That's when I would jump on the bike. I used to bike 30 miles before work would start. And that was something that I never would have done before 2020. And yet, I mean, that's something that I'll definitely do when springtime comes back around. I'll be hopping on that bike, you know, at sunrise. But I think there's real power to changing your day, scheduling your day. You know, we all have long-term goals, but you have to translate those goals into daily actions, you know. And I think this year sort of taught me how to do that in a way. I mean, I know are we getting into accomplishments as well this year?
Yeah, we will be talking about accomplishments, but we can
Because
talk
this
about
guy's-
accomplishments now.
Well, I mean, the major thing for me was that I quit drinking this year.
Oh my
I
goodness!
used to be quite a drinker. And starting in January,
Congratulations!
it's been like 11 months now, alcohol free. I'm not sure if I could have done that if 2020 didn't work out the way it did, which is strange. I know a lot of people have had a really difficult time this year, and it's been a challenge for us as well. But you know, there's been some good things that have come out of this year that you know, I don't think I would have seen otherwise. You know.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
And from quitting drinking, I mean, really, a lot of the other stuff comes from that, you know. And a lot of this came from Twitch Sings as well. I mean, I know a lot of people have had sort of a transformative experience with Twitch Sings. For me, as an introvert, it really sort of forced me to become a little bit more extroverted, and kind of deal with, I don't know, getting some of the emotions out that were behind the reasons I was drinking. And then I was able to deal with those in a way that I couldn't before, simply from singing out these things, you know. And then somehow that kind of gave me, I don't know, a confidence boost, to just not have to drink anymore, which, I don't know, for a lot of people that might sound odd because I know there's plenty of drinking going on on Twitch thing. But um, from that, because I used to put away probably a bottle of scotch per night. I mean, it's a lot of drinking. But out of that change, came a lot of other changes this year. Um, and again, if I didn't have the time at home, I don't think I would have been successful.
Well, congratulations. That's incredible. My goodness. Wow. What about you, Sheepy? What are some accomplishments?
Well, I started streaming. Well, technically, I started streaming at the very end of last year, but it really took off, January, and then and with quarantine and all that, I and that was big for me, especially since I'm on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, so I'm on testosterone low dose because I'm not binary or whatever, but but that changes you subtly, but it does. And I'm doing that while live streaming, so basically transitioning live in front of everybody, like my voice changed on stream.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like I have it, there's video record. If you've been watching, from the very beginning, you'll like notice that or whatever. And it's, if you see me a lot, then like it's a little harder to tell, but like, voice things and stuff are more intense. And then with like the singing, I got back into singing, and that was like a huge thing for me. Because I have a sort of mixed feelings about singing, just due to how I was raised, with being, like I said, being raised by a narcissistic mom, where like I was, made to put on shows and stuff, basically, and things like that. But this I was doing for me because I wanted to, and singing and all that. And then at one point, I think it was like June or something, May or June or something, my voice dropped and I lost it for like a month, and I could barely talk. I couldn't sing, and I thought that it was just like over for me.
That's terrifying. Oh my goodness.
And that was probably one of the most depressing, like darkest feelings that I had in like a long time. I was I went to a very, very bad place for like a month. I was like inconsolable. And but I got help, and I started seeing a voice instructor who was also trans, who specialized in trans voices, and they helped me out of it. And I started taking like singing lessons with them every week, even though I couldn't really afford it, but I needed it. It was like both a mental and a physical thing for me, and because I just like I needed to sing. If I didn't have singing, I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Like that was where my mind was at. And but I ended up like coming out of it really, really well. I actually like know how to control my voice now. And like there's like this huge misnomer or misunderstanding that like if you go on hormones or whatever, like you're never gonna sing again, or you're like gonna sound bad or something. I sound way better now, like way better. Like I can actually like I listen to stuff like from before, and I'm like, ew, like where's your control? Where's your breath control? Like you're awful. Like what are you doing? Like how come you can't hold that note? Or like your voice broke there. Gross. like I notice all those little things now in like past me, and I'm like, no, I like where I'm at now, and I feel so much better now. And now I'm doing I lost my voice teacher. They left their program or whatever, so now I'm
Oh,
working with Pashley.
that's good.
Because she started doing lessons and stuff. So so recently in the last month I've been working with Pashley every
Nice.
week. So I'm just like keeping that up for me, and that was a huge accomplishment because I have never had any singing lessons in my life. I wasn't in choir. I wasn't nothing. A lot of my singing stuff is probably driven by like being in theater and whatnot. So it's very, that's where a lot of influence comes from with how I sing and stuff. But like, so like that was a huge accomplishment because that was something that I had always wanted to do in my lifetime, was to learn how to sing and to learn how to do it, like actually do it. And so I did it. I did that this year. And I didn't think that would ever happen for me. So I'm happy with
Yay.
that.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Amy?
I learn about how it's okay for me just to do what I want to do from time to time. I always have this massive guilt, which I didn't even realize I had. Whereas I'd get home from work and be like, I don't really want to stream, but I told everyone I'll stream. But I'd rather sit and watch a film, or I'd rather go to bed early. And I think, taking a bit of time out, I was like, it's okay to just do what I want to do every now and then. Or like, if I want to just sort of chill and do nothing, because that's important as well. Like I didn't realize how my time was important. And sometimes I'll stay up a little bit later, just have a bit of my time, and I'll be like, oh well, if I'm playing a game, I'll have to stream it because that's what I do. And sometimes you just think, I just want to enjoy the game.
I don't want to stream. I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah. So so I've kind of like stopped feeling guilty about looking after myself. But I do kind of like, I haven't been streaming as much as I'd like to, so that's something that I'm kind of building up again. But as well, like I think spending time, like being forced to spend as much time with my son when he was like being homeschooled, there are times when you go, oh my god, just leave me alone for 5 minutes. And like
real
like
talk, man.
Yeah, like he loves to talk, and I like, I'll sit down and I'll say, right, I just need 5 minutes to do this, and he goes, okay, Mum, and I'm like, oh. just shut up. But sometimes as well, like I'll say, oh no, I'm gonna stream, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna work late, or I need to do the dishes, and he's like, well, can't we just cuddle in bed? And I'm like, no, like, and then I think I'm being selfish, like I want to, like, I always think, no, but I've got these things to do.
Great.
And now, like on a Sunday, we get into bed at about 8 o'clock. And we have a cuddle and we read to each other, and like sometimes like he then falls asleep and I put him in his bed, and then I go and do my thing. But but it's nice to kind of have that time and just enjoy being with each other, because I think it's so easy to get caught up in everything else.
Yes.
And then time goes by and you're like, we're just kind of spending time between me picking him up from school and me going to work, and most of that time I'm just doing the dishes, I'm just doing dinner, I'm just doing this, and then I'm like, I've got to go, I'll see you later, and we don't spend that quality time together. So yeah, it's like I've kind of learned that our time together and my time on my own and his time, and it's all really important to just enjoy. And other stuff isn't, like, the dishes will wait. Don't stress about the dishes, they will be there later.
I love that.
Yeah, and I kind of started studying again, because when we were learning together, like he'd be like, oh, what about this, what about that, and I was like, let's look it up together. And I kind of really enjoyed learning and using my brain more. So I did like a diploma in parapsychology, which is so random. but it was so interesting.
I'm so happy.
And I did a counselling skills course, which is like a beginner's kind of thing, which was really interesting. It was hard, but it was really interesting. And I finally, like, since I was about 13, I said I'm going to learn sign language, and then I didn't because it was hard. And now I'm actually like enrolled on a British sign language course. So yeah, I kind of feel like this year has been really, really hard, and there's been a lot of time wasted in like some areas. But I think if I could kind of look back and go, it was a really rubbish year, but I did this, and this, it balances out a little bit. So yeah, I feel like I've accomplished probably more than I actually originally would have, because of all this shit happening.
Oh, I love that. It's so beautiful, because I think that way sometimes too, when I think, yes, COVID is such a shitty thing to go through, but it's also in certain aspects a blessing in disguise, because I feel like I got to know myself so much more this year. Like, because life was a little less busy, I got to take the time to reflect and really, figure out what my demons are and figure out what my triggers are. And one thing I'm really proud of myself for this year is I was kinder to myself this year. And we are so horrible to ourselves. And this year was probably the only time ever since I started kind of having shaky times in my life that I was actually super kind to myself. Of course, I had my days where I was not so kind, but I had more kind days this year than I have had in a very long time. So proud about that. And I implemented Raven's Real Talk, which was a dream for so long, and I'm very proud of it. And I kept thinking that I'm going to open up a merch shop, and although it hasn't happened yet, I'm getting some designs finalized. I've finalized some designs already. A lot of them have to do with food. So I'm very excited, and it's just, there's nice things to look forward to. And I started a YouTube series called Fixing My Life, so anyone who does watch along and keep up with that, thank you for that. But primarily I do it for myself. I do it for myself because it's some kind of accountability. And I've noticed that when I am doing these Fixing My Life videos, which is, so basically, in a nutshell, Vivi, sheepy, a month and a half ago or so, I kind of had a mini breakdown, and I was just so angry at everything. I was angry at myself, at my life, at my job, at my parents, at my siblings, at my living situation. I was just angry about everything, and all that anger grew into this frustration that grew into tears, and it was just a very horrible situation. And I remember taking a walk out into the field and just like crying and like making a video, just like airing it all out. And I would highly recommend anyone interested in trying to change up your life to read a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. What the guy does basically is he will talk about his life through the book so that you could kind of see how his life turned out and where he was and where he reached. But the point is not to focus on his story. It's supposed to draw parallels with your story and his story. And he gives you challenges in every chapter that you implement into your life. And it's supposed to bring you a step closer to who you want to be. And one of the first challenges is you air out your dirty laundry. You basically talk about everything and anything, whether it's in a diary or verbally, that you feel is holding you back. Whether it could be abusive parents, it could be a bad boss, it could be childhood trauma, it could be whatever it is. You just go. You just list it all out. You pour out your heart. And without knowing it, I had done that in that video, which brought me to number 2, so the second challenge, which was having more accountability in my life. And that's what the videos are. Every video I make a video every day, and I have like 7 or 8 things that I track every day, and I've set them as very small things. So I'm trying to do an apple a day. I'm trying to track my waking up, like fixing my sleep schedule. So I track when I wake up, when I go to sleep, whether I work out or not. I have a goal of trying to learn how to do the splits. So I'm tracking if I did splits training for the day. I'm trying to get to do 10 push-ups. So I track how many push-ups I can do every day. So these are things that I track every day, and what I'm eating and things like that. And I track that every day in these videos. And the goal is to see yourself grow, because what you see in YouTube videos, you don't see the hard work, you don't see the struggle. You say you what you see and what you hear is, I tried this and this for 30 days and this is the results. But that's, for me, that's not inspiring. Like, I want to see what you went through every day, the days where you did not get out of bed, the days that you slept in, the days that you could not even do one push-up, the days that you were sore, the days that you were emotionally not okay, you know. So I'm proud of myself for doing the series and keeping up with it, and I have seen progress. I couldn't do one push-up like a couple months ago, and I can now do 4. Struggling, but 4, which is awesome. It's a good feeling. So it felt good to practice some self-love, eh? We don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. I don't do that enough. So that was nice. Thank you guys for sharing that. Thank you for being so transparent and honest. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So looking forward, what are some of your goals that you're looking forward to? So mine is definitely that merch shop. And definitely the splits. Definitely that 10 push-ups. All right. Maybe some little biceps. Some triceps. Triceps are my favorite muscles, by the way.
Those triceps.
God.
I love tricep workouts.
And I love
them.
triceps.
So satisfying for some reason.
I know.
When you feel that burn on the back of your arm.
Ooh, and then you touch it and you can feel a little bump and you're like, oh my God. Yes. My man would need to have triceps. Let me just tell you, future husband. I will work out for cheese. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm working out so that I can have that cheese.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I love cheese.
Love cheese.
Cheese is like, cheese and ice cream are the reason I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, I'm looking forward
Although
to hitting...
I am extremely lactose intolerant and everything hates me.
Oh no.
But I love it so much.
Oh man.
Worth the pain.
Worth the pain. Worth the toilet.
I only eat plant-based.
Ooh, okay.
But I really miss because I've tried all the different vegan ice creams. It's just not the same.
They're not the same. They just don't do. They just can't. They haven't got it yet. They haven't done it.
One day, they'll get there, guys.
I hope that when
They
the
got
science happens and it's affordable,
It'll be a good day.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to losing weight. I want to hit 140. That's my goal. What about you guys? What are things that you're looking forward to? Papasaurus.
I definitely have weight to lose. That's one thing that, especially since it started getting colder here, I'm not getting outside in the morning, and I think I have packed on about maybe 10 or 12 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to reverse that pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a challenge staying on a plant-based diet, so I guess I do want to do a little bit better job of that. It has been great though. When you get older, you have to start worrying about blood pressure and stuff like that. And mine was pretty bad. For a while, I was on 20 milligrams of lisinopril, which is a high blood pressure medication.
Oh goodness.
But after 2 years plant-based, I'm down to like 5 milligrams now. I'm looking at probably getting off of that altogether. It's really worth looking at. A plant-based diet. I know everybody loves bacon, everybody loves cheese.
They have plant-based stuff that's really good. That tastes really good, like chicken nuggets. They will taste like chicken nuggets.
I've been a vegetarian for like 18 years. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean,
I'm fine. I don't miss it.
I generally stay away from like the imitation stuff. I mean, you see all the sort of imitation chicken wings and imitation burgers and things like that. I tried a lot of that stuff at first, and now I just kind of eat plants.
Yeah, those are very like, I don't know, transition foods almost. I feel like they help you kind of maybe transition into a plant-based diet where it's like, if you ate like a lot of those types of foods, then switching over to those before just going on like full like plant-based or whatever. I don't eat healthy personally. I should really work on that.
No, I'm terrible.
So like just being on like a vegetarian or something like that doesn't inherently make you healthier. You have to really watch what you're doing. But yeah, those are after, and I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, Papasaurus, but I've been away from meat for so long that now even those smells and things like that are a turnoff to me. I'm not like, if someone is barbecuing or something like that, or like cooking like meat in a pan or something, those don't smell good to me anymore.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
it
that
does.
way with
It doesn't
burgers
smell good.
and steaks. I still like the smell of bacon though.
Bacon
I look
is
forward to
one of
that.
those things. Yeah. It has a, I don't know if it's that fatty quality or whatever, but pork, any red meats,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
doesn't
can't.
smell good.
It does have a
cannot.
different smell to it now after a few years of eating mostly plant-based. It's I don't know how to describe it. It almost smells like a farm or something. There's an odd kind of smell
Yeah.
that I didn't used to smell.
Yeah, it's interesting how like your all your senses change.
Wow.
I should say I do allow myself what is it, bivalves, so scallops, mussels, clams,
Seafood type
I do
stuff.
those things. Not all seafood, but
some seafoods.
those particular ones I guess would be the ones that don't really feel pain, so I
Right.
stick to that as far as that would be all the animals.
I'd be willing to give that type of stuff a shot, but I live in the desert and I don't trust any ocean things that come here. Like, I don't trust any of that.
That is
Like
fair.
unless I am on the ocean and they're like, "Hey, we caught these this morning." No, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do
you
it
don't wanna
because
be
I
eating
don't
that
trust
after it's-
anything that's here.
Damn.
I don't buy seafood in the desert. That's weird.
It's a bad idea.
That's yeah. That's just asking.
It seems a little
for-
suspicious.
Yeah, that's asking for food poisoning. I just don't trust it. But I'm not totally against that, especially those that like don't feel pain or something like that. Yeah.
So Papasaurus, you said you are looking forward to losing weight. What else?
Well, I mean, I guess I have to start streaming music streams since Twitch Sings is ending. So, I'll be going back to that because I did a few of those before I started Twitch Sings, like 2 or 3. And then I discovered Twitch Sings, and it was just so addictive that I didn't really go back to doing regular music streams, but I guess now I have to. And I have a lot more equipment now than I used to. I didn't have the microphone. I didn't have the mixer before. I have a lot of stuff that I bought because of Twitch Sings.
Oh man.
That I can use now. So that'll be fun. And actually, Twitch Sings gave me the confidence to go and play at local open mic nights. In front of a live audience, which is something I never would have done before.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Now those haven't been open since
COVID,
February,
right?
So once places open up again, I'll definitely be getting back into that. And trying to get my twin brother to do the same thing, because my twin brother is actually a much better musician than I am. He's an incredible bass player, but he hasn't really played out in a long time, so I want to try to get him out as well.
You could be like the dynamic duo. the dynamic twin duo, yeah. That's awesome.
But other than that, just continuing what I've learned, during this year, as far as like I said, scheduling the things that really everybody should be doing. Planning your nutrition, practicing mindfulness, waking up early. That was actually another thing I learned this year, was that self-control is a resource that you start out with a lot of it at the beginning of the day, but once it gets into the evening, you don't have as much self-control.
Yeah, that is very true.
Fighting the urge to drink or do whatever, um, you have a lot less strength in dealing with yourself late in the day. So if you just go to sleep, I think you're better off. Just go to bed early and wake up early.
100%. That was great advice. And I think a lot of us are struggling with managing our sleep schedule. So that is great advice.
I don't always follow that advice. Anytime I'm streaming, it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
I try.
What's the sleep schedule? Hi, D. What about you, Sheepy? What are you looking forward to?
I want to get myself on a bit of a schedule. I would like just a daily schedule, a streaming schedule, just kind of get myself on track. Because I find I don't function very well if I don't have a schedule.
Yes.
If I don't have like literally be able to pull up my calendar and see what I'm doing for the day. If I don't know what I'm doing, then I just kind of flail, and I end up getting nothing done.
Yep.
So I want to set a schedule for myself. I want to stream more regularly because I do want to eventually reach like a wider audience and things like that. Because you know, it's for me, it's not just playing games or performing and stuff. My goal coming into streaming was to educate and advocate. So I want to push that and you know, reach a wider variety of people and things like that. So in order to do that, you need to have a schedule and you need to set aside that time and things like that. And I also should you know, I think I need to exercise a bit more because like I don't I can't do certain exercise things because I have like a heart thing, so I get really worn out or whatever, but I do want to get some exercise and at least like stretching every day because I have like neck problems and things like that. And so I don't need to lose weight. I'm trying to maintain weight and just get my body a little bit healthier and stronger because I haven't been like exercising or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay, so
schedule and exercise.
Yeah, exercising and weight seems to be a common. Exercising. What about you, Amy?
Really, I definitely need to work on my schedule because I want to get back into streaming more often, more regularly. I set up a YouTube channel ages ago and there's still nothing on it. so and the plan is kind of like, well, when I get back streaming regularly, then I'll work on YouTube. And then, you know, again, I do put things off. I like putting things off. But I want to actually have a schedule where even if it's just like one day a week, I definitely stream. One day a week I film something. One day a week I edit. And then the kind of build up from that. And I definitely need to exercise more. I'm trying to eat better, but the one thing that I struggle at is exercising. And then I'm like, oh, man, I've got no energy. And everyone's like, but if you exercise, you'll get energy. And I'm like, but I'm tired. And they're like, you're not getting it.
That's me.
You're like, no, you're not getting it.
Yeah, I'm like, I could exercise or I could have a nap. Oh, and it's always the nap.
The nap.
So I need,
yeah,
I love a nap.
Oh.
Every time.
Yeah.
My name is Show Sheepy. Okay.
True.
That's where it comes from.
Oh, a little napperoo. Oof.
But yeah, it's like I need to be stricter on myself because each day I go, oh, tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then I get tired, go to have a nap. I wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed.
Day's gone.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I go, but tomorrow, if I have a lazy day today, tomorrow I will do this, that, and the other. And I need to just be like, no, because you're not. You're going to do it now.
It's like talk down,
So-
like talk to yourself.
Yeah, I need to push myself, and I need a bit more self-control.
Oof.
And but I used to stay up till like 5 a.m. streaming, and I'd end up very drunk. Which I had some great times.
Amy.
No regrets. Well, there was a few things that I said on stream that I shouldn't have, but it's fine. But yeah, so I need to kind of find the right balance of like staying up, streaming, staying sober, and then going to bed. So it's not 5 a.m, but maybe like 2, 3. And then if I need a nap the next day, then I've earned it because I've stayed up. So, I feel like I can work.
Okay.
around.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, if I'm gonna have a nap anyway, I might as well stay up a bit later and actually do something
With
Or
that
get up
time.
Yeah, or like get up early, like force myself to get up 2 hours early or whatever. Stream then, and I feel like eventually I'm gonna fall into some sort of pattern that works. Hopefully.
100%.
But yeah, there's definitely. I think as well, if I get up and take the dog for a walk, so I've got that kind of, you're getting up, you're going out, burning some calories and doing all that other stuff. Hopefully that will help as well. So, but yeah, I it's been hard this year, kind of having the motivation to go out and exercise, especially when we first went into lockdown and stuff, and I'd go out and be like, okay, I don't want to go out because you might have COVID, it might be in the air, it might be on the floor, because everything
Don't know,
was,
yeah.
and everything scared me. And I think now I'm kind of a little bit more relaxed about it, even though it's really bad in my town at the minute, but I know that if I went for a walk around around the houses, I'm probably going to be fine. So I need to actually push myself to do these things, and then I think it will become a bit more natural anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think it will. One unpopular opinion that I have, though, is I'm worried that by the time I finally get like a solid schedule down and I'm like in my good routine, work is going to come back and be like, yeah, we need you back in the office. And that's going to throw off everything. So
I'm never going
till
back.
then, let's enjoy whatever schedule we end up having. I'm a little worried about that, but
They can't make me.
last but not least, guys, let's end off with a message to our future self, our 2021 self. What do we want to let our 2021 self know? I could start us off and say, I know 2021 is a scary year because I have a lot of personal changes that are going to be happening in my life, and it won't always make sense, and I won't always have the comforts that I had for the past however many years. But I want myself to look back on all the things that I've accomplished and all the hurdles that I've come across, jumped over, all the things that I've accomplished, and I want myself to stay focused and acknowledge and tell myself and accept that I am stronger than I think I am, and it will be okay. And all I gotta do is take one day at a time and take that day at my own pace, and it will be okay. I will be okay. That's what I want to tell myself. What about you, Amy?
I think just that it's okay to kind of take time out if things get too much before they get way too much, and it's and then you're forced to take time out. And to kind of stay grateful for everything. Like right now I'm like, I miss seeing my family, I miss hugging people, I miss going to bookshops and the cinema, and hopefully by then it'll all be back to normal, or as close as it's gonna be. And I want to still remember how I feel now.
Love that.
So that I don't just sort of start going back and going, oh yeah, this is great, like that never happened. Like, you know,
Continue to stay grateful.
Yeah,
Not
to
take it for
appreciate
granted.
everything. And to actually, you know, like I had a time when I didn't really have many friends. I lost a lot of friends, and now I'm starting to like trust people again. So I don't want to lose those friends that I've got just because I'm awkward sometimes. Like I don't like push people away, but when people are like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, and I think, I find that, you know, my anxiety sets off, and then I come up with an excuse, like, because I put too much pressure on myself, and I just need to kind of just go there and do it. And, you know, just like, don't be afraid to go and do things you want to do just because that thing tells you that something awkward might happen, or you know, just do things. Don't let stuff stop me.
Is that the main reason that you feel like you don't take on these offers to hang out with people, because you're afraid that you might be too awkward?
Yeah, or, you know, like someone might say, oh, let's meet in the town, and I might go there, and then I'm like, I can't find them. What if they're looking at me and I'm walking around like an idiot, like looking for them, when in reality they'll probably just be like, Amy, I'm over here. Like,
That is so
you
interesting.
you always
Wow.
see like the worst scenario rather than, you know, what will actually probably happen. Or I could just text them and go, oh, I can't see you, where are you? Or call them or whatever. Like,
It doesn't
I
have
put
to be a
things off.
thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I put things off, or I delay things, or like everyone goes and I go, oh, I don't know what to wear, I don't look good enough, or I'm, you know, that they want me to meet me in a pub and it's gonna be busy and I feel uncomfortable. Like, just go and do it. That's what I want to sort of be more like. Just do it and have fun. Don't put too much pressure on myself.
I love that. I love
Apart
that.
from when it comes to exercising and streaming, then I'm going to put all the pressure on myself.
Don't we all need to do that? Oh my God. I love that. And I love how transparent and honest you were about that, because I feel like there are so many people who are in that exact same shoe, and the tornado that is going on in your head and in your heart is not even what's usually happening on the outside with your friends or your loved ones, right? They're not viewing you like that. They're not seeing the situation like that. But right then and there, you can see how two people view a situation so differently and so drastically differently that it can like inhibit someone from taking part in a situation just because of that. So I'm really proud of you for facing that, because it's tough. Our mental, man, it's messed up, man. It is so hard to beat yourself sometimes, and we're the most important person to beat sometimes. So I'm proud of you, Amy. Yeah, you're welcome. How about you, Shoshipi? What would you like to tell your 2021 self?
Probably like, you know, to stay on track with you know, like I said, with wanting to schedule and stuff, to stay on track and don't like lose sight of what you want to accomplish, and that it is possible to do all those things, and that and that sometimes, you know, the way I put it is like, sometimes your brain is mean to you, and you just have to power through and know that like not everything that your brain is telling you is true, and that you are actually a very capable person. So I, you know, want to keep that in mind, that like, it's like these things that I want to accomplish are not impossible things. They're big things, but they're possible. And then I can't let all those doubts and stuff overpower me and take me back to those dark places where I get nothing done. Because at least I'm doing something. It's just, you know, one day at a time. And sometimes, and some days it's 1 hour, 1 minute at a time, but you keep pushing.
At your own pace, baby. Beautiful. Thank you. That's so true. Yeah. I want to add something as well, because Sheepy just mentioned something and it reminded me of something that I want to add that I feel like is such an important turning point in my life. So I want to incorporate it for my future self, that the next person you do choose to spend your time with, whoever it may be, and in whatever capacity, just make sure that they're worth it and they do treat you well and they bring some kind of light to your life, because there's really no point spending your time with someone who's not satisfying your emotional needs or whatever needs that you need fulfilled. So just remember that you're worth whatever, however you want to be treated. How about you, Papa? Oh my God, I'm getting emotional.
I have spoken to. I feel like I have spoken to a lot of people recently who are, in between relationships, and that is one thing that I always try to tell them is that, the very beginning of the relationship that's where you discover what kind of person that is. What kind of boundaries they're going to try to push, and it's not always the best thing to try to give people a chance for such a long time. I mean, you can get a sense of what somebody's like pretty early on, and there's no shame in just telling them to get lost.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of people who will constantly put down the person that they're with, or whatever idea their partner has. Their first instinct is to say, well, that can't work. You're never going to make that work. And it's the way that they talk to themselves, probably, but they end up talking to their significant others that way as well. I think people need to look for cheerleaders. I mean, you need to have somebody who is going to support you rather than, putting you down.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily their fault. I think that they talk to themselves that way. When they have an idea, they talk themselves out of it. And so it's a habit that they get into with their significant others. And I think those folks are probably best avoided. Although they need somebody, I suppose. Everybody.
Not me! Unless it's a fuck yes, I want to be with Raven. That's a no for me. I want someone to be excited at the prospect of being with me, not like, I can't really give you what you want, but you're so amazing. I just wish I could. I wish I could. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm so tired of that shit. No, man. That was a backhand, by the way. Any of my immigrant friends, y'all know what this means. Backhand. But, yeah.
But as far as telling myself, my 2021 self, I guess I would just, say, remember the lessons, because this has been a remarkable year. Maybe I should keep a journal or something, because, the human mind is flighty. We forget stuff.
100%.
And that was actually, I know we don't want to edge into politics here, but that was a big lesson of 2020, was that people are flighty and they are basically controlled by what news station they watch.
Interesting.
Even
yeah.
the most basic things, wearing a mask. I don't know, from Canada, I don't know what Americans look, what people in the U.S. look like to the folks in Canada, but I mean, it just seemed like
some of them look like buffoons. I will not lie.
And hopefully we're coming to an end of that a little bit in January, but people who I grew up with and who seemed like perfectly reasonable people, because they watched a specific news channel, they're just making the craziest decisions. And I think that, I don't know, people are easily controlled. But at the same time, I think you have to have compassion for those people, because they're not bad people. I mean, I've lived in Alabama for over a decade. And there's, plenty of folks down there that think differently than I do. But they're not bad people. They just consume bad media. They're told bad things. They're lied to all day. And I think that, there's an instinct which can sort of tell you to cut those people off completely, but you're basically cutting them off to their own devices, and cutting them off and leaving them to be preyed upon by whatever is making them think that way to begin with. People aren't going to change unless they hear the right messages. I'm going off onto a tangent there.
No, that's a good one. That's actually a staple lesson that, regardless of what topic I have for my real talk, it usually comes up that Sugarroth phrases it really well. He said that it's okay to be ignorant, but it's not okay to stay ignorant. Like, once you get the message and you have been educated, or you've been shown a better way, or whatever, better the light, or whatever you want to call it, and then you still choose to live in your ignorant ways, that's a you problem. And in that case, I would cut that person out. But I definitely think giving them the opportunity to learn or educate them, or you yourself giving yourself the opportunity to be educated, can benefit that friendship, relationship, interaction, whatever. So yeah. Thank you guys. This was so nice. Aw, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to be here. I appreciate you all so much. I learned so much from you guys. As always, I'm going to go to bed tonight thinking about everything we talked about, and thank you. I had a rough night, as I told you guys, and I think maybe that's where the tears came from. It was I had an emotional morning, and I'm glad we had this talk. It was really good. It's awesome. So thank you. Do you guys want to say bye to everyone before we head off? I'm going to just say bye to you guys off stream for a little bit. So do you want to say bye to chat before we head off?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Yeah. I will be right back. I'm going to say bye to my scrumptious guests off screen. I'll be right back, guys. Hello, guys. I am back. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came by, who lurked, who participated in the chat. Thank you so much for making this Real Talk so much more amazing. The guests already made it so amazing. A special thank you to Amy, to Papasaurus Rex, to Papa Rex. You guys have been wonderful, and everyone in chat, everyone who is lurking, everyone who participated, awesome. It's been awesome chilling with you guys. I appreciate it, and I'm so sorry that I missed some of the comments that were said in chat, but I do appreciate you all being here and it being interested and engaged with the topic. So y'all know what time it is. Thank you, Amy. Y'all know what time it is, right? Y'all know what time it is, right? It's time for Rapper Ray. Y'all thought I forgot about Rapper Ray? Nah, baby, nah. Rapper Ray coming in hot. Okay? Rapper Ray coming in hot. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. All right. Here we go. Ravens Real Talk Mix. Oh, snap, it's my Ravens. This time with you, I've been craving. Been looking forward to this all day. Let's have a scrumptious time today. Skippy doo bop, bop, bop. Moo, moo, bop, bop. Skit, scat, diddly doo, and spooky, boogie, boogie, boo. Tonight was Ravens Real Talk. No, I did not go for a walk. We had Papa Rex, and no, I had no sex today. Yes, I rhymed Rex with sex. Hibiscus flower was also here. She's so sweet, girl, come over here. Then we had Cho. She beat two. Yes, I said that name. Call you boo. My boo thing. That's it. And that was the end of that. That's what you call a freestyle mayhem. So good. I think I'm gonna do that next time. Like, I'm just gonna do each of you guys, like, have a bar for each of you. I think that's what I'll do. I really liked that. I liked that I could. Okay, I'm so sorry, Papasaurus, that I rhymed you with sex. I'm so sorry. It's just I could not think of anything else at the moment. Sorry. Hopefully your kids didn't see that. But I will be better, I promise. One day. I'm so sorry. One day I'll be. Oh, I missed the conjunction. Oh, I missed the conjunction. Who saw the conjunction? Rex. Okay, listen. Sheepy. Why you gotta call me out like that? Everybody does that. Cause every time I rhyme with X, I always say sex, and they're like, you could have said text, you could have said Rex, you could have said Vex, they're like listing all these things. I'm like, I know, I'm not saying that there's nothing to rhyme with, I just couldn't. Tex Mix? Chex Mix? Now you just got me thinking of Chex Mix. That's what I said. Oh man. You liked my choice? I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you, Sheepy. And I called Sheepy my boo-boo. I called Sheepy my boo-boo. I told Amy to come over here. I feel like that was a decent rap. I feel like that was a golden one, guys. That was a golden one. What can I say? Once again, guys, thank you so much for choosing to be part of this Real Talk. I appreciate you all for sharing your wisdom, your kindness, your experiences, and your input with all of us and making this so much more special. Hope you all have a damn scrumptious night. Take care, and Raven out.